Sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like that. You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Tuesday, September 10th. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. We begin with a high-profile split. Sarah Palin's husband has filed for divorce after more than 30 years of marriage. Todd Palin submitted the paperwork on Friday, citing incompatibility of temperament as a reason, adding, quote, they find it impossible to live together as husband and wife. The couple married in 1988. He was by her side, you remember, when she was elected governor of Alaska and when she was a vice presidential hopeful alongside John McCain. They later went on to star in their own reality TV show on TLC. And meanwhile, just a week before this all went down, Palin was at a Kid Rock concert. You see her there in Wisconsin. And it doesn't appear she's with Todd, but it does look like she's having fun. Todd is asking for joint custody of their 11-year-old son, Trig. They have 4 other children together who are now adults. Now, Tori, listen, I don't wish divorce upon anyone.
No.
I don't think a lot of people are surprised, considering
Right.
It's been pretty known, especially with DC insiders yourself, that they haven't been living together for a long time. Why the front?
I think for political reasons and also for their kids. Remember, a lot of people stay together until they feel their kids are old enough. So Trig is now 11, and that might be their decision. Or it might have been a fight, because right now he's saying it's literally, quote, impossible to live in the same house with her.
So maybe they waited too long.
It could have been that as well. I do want to point out, and again, I don't wish it on anyone, but this tweet really spoke to me. This is from Twitter, of course, the tweet. And it speaks about family values candidate Sarah Palin is getting divorced, and I can see irony from my house. So let's not forget, she did put a lot of the gay community on blast by not even wanting them to get married, and now always toting family values. And now even she's human. So instead of blasting her, I just want us to all understand we're all human, and to maybe take a step back if you're under that approach.
Well, CC Sarah Palin in that,
Yeah,
you know, because
yeah.
we all are all human, and she just reaps of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel that way. And yes, we don't want to sit here and bash her for getting a divorce, but a lot of people feel like, well, this is what you get. I mean, when you're telling people, oh, we have the family values, but your daughter's coming out with a pregnancy at 17. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you're shaming people,
don't judge.
So
Yeah.
I can see why people are going after her, are quick to jump on her.
What do you think about that?
You know what? I had to learn about this woman yesterday. She was obviously very famous in having shows on TLC before I came to America. And I heard about, some of the things she said about family values and being very kind of strict and stern on that. What I do want to congratulate her on is 31 years of successful marriage, 5 beautiful children, and the fact that they've remained together in that time. Over 50% of people in marriages now, that doesn't last.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should be bashing it. I think when you make that commitment, it is till death do us part. And, regardless of things that she may or may not have said, I take
the high road. Yeah, well said.
Very well said.
All right, well, speaking of marriage, a shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men. The study from Cornell University says women aren't getting married because prospective husbands can't provide enough financial security. That's interesting. I mean, you look at, how far we've come in the 1950s. A lot of people would get married for security. Not to say that love also didn't fit into that equation.
But it was also the thing you did, right? The game of life. What do? You go high school, college, you get a job, you get married.
And many times you don't go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
And so a lot of women, including my grandparents, that's what you did. You sort of had that expectation. Society is totally switched that. And I'd like to offer the fact that there are more women graduating college than men for the first time in history, and graduating with higher degrees. More doctors, more lawyers, more heavy business entrepreneurs. That's going to lead them to say, I don't need to rely on a man. And the whole shift starts to happen.
But the attractiveness part is what's interesting to me, right? So people are looking for financial security still, even when they did maybe back then, but now it's like, does it weigh in, Stephanie, when you look at a potential mate?
I'll be honest, when I was younger, so I've been in 2 long-term relationships. The last one was 10 years. And one thing that did bother me, and which definitely contributed to why we didn't get married, was his financial, what's the word?
Situation?
Situation was a bit all over the place. And I used to say, until this is all together, it's just not going to happen. It didn't mean I didn't love him. It didn't mean I didn't buy a house with him.
Right.
But it did make me feel a little uneasy when I thought, you know, as soon as you get married, his debt becomes my debt, it becomes our debt.
It's true.
And it's, you know, I needed
to
see a lot of change before I could make a serious commitment.
Yeah, and especially in this gig economy, I look at millennials today, and even in our world, you can't buy a house on one income.
No.
You do need a dual income.
You have to, and you have to, like Stephanie said, you have to look at someone's finances before you go down and jump the broom.
It shouldn't be the only reason.
Absolutely not. But you just think of the societal pressures that Tori was talking about back in the day, and now we see this the rise in average marriage age because people want experiences. People want careers.
Yeah, you're right.
People want to live life because when you get married, forever is a long time. I just said that to one of our producers, Megan, over there. But we always talk about, I want what my grandma and grandpa had. Grandma and grandpa didn't have Twitter. Grandma and grandpa didn't have Tinder. They didn't have social media or those distractions that we have today.
They could also buy a house on one income.
This study is irresponsible. This study is really irresponsible
just
to put that out there as the reason.
There's other variables. You're right. I agree with that. I do. We do have some breaking news that's coming in right now, and this breaking news is coming in from the White House. Let's get to Kelly Schuberth with the details.
That's right, Sam. The president just fired National Security Advisor John Bolton. Bolton was the president's third national security advisor since he took office, but they apparently had disagreements over how to handle major foreign policy challenges. The President Trump just tweeted, saying, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House. I disagreed strongly with many of his suggestions, as did others in the administration." Now, the president went on to say he will name a new national security advisor next week.
So super interesting. This is his third national security advisor. I think this is a good thing. I think that John Bolton is known as a hawk in D.C. That just means he always wants to have war, always. And I think you're seeing a Trump that wants to have negotiations, and those two don't jive. The other thing I'll say is, from inside sources, they're saying they weren't trusting him with the Camp David recently with the Taliban. They didn't inform him about Kim Jong-un before they did it. And they also were scared about Afghanistan talks blowing up because of him and his temper. So interesting to see this move.
I'll give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
Good on him.
Interesting to see this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tori. A new Monopoly game is being called categorically unfair right now. The Miss Monopoly game is billed as the first game where women make more money than men. In this version, women collect $240 every time they pass go, while men get the typical $200. And the new rules are upsetting a lot of people. One person tweets, "As a woman, I find Miss Monopoly sexist. Equality doesn't mean women make more than men."
Yes.
And another writes, "You can't win at something unless you get an unfair advantage. And by the way, everyone is going to resent you for it." Seems like an amazing lesson for young girls. Yeah, I actually think this sets a different precedent. So not only is it sexist, it also is saying that a woman can't get ahead unless she's making more.
Unless she's given more.
Yeah, it's almost like giving you they call it, in competitions, a handicap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's,
Now you're saying we need it, and now if I win, which I will, you're going to say blame me because of the $40.
I know.
I want equal means equal.
Yeah, I'm annoyed with this, Brandon.
And I'm glad you are, because this is not empowerment, this is enabling. And now if we're going to really talk about it, are women of color going to get an extra raise on that? Because they're behind from what white women make.
And Hispanic women and then Native American women.
My thing is, it's just like, for the male, we don't go to jail. Y'all just aren't going to talk to us.
We don't need your help, right? We don't need that advantage.
We don't need it. It's basically saying women need a handout to succeed.
Thank you.
So, but they've got some other interesting things on this game board. Like, you can buy Wi-Fi, cookies, and stem cell isolation.
Whoa, that's going deep.
All right, Miss Monopoly.
Hair blowouts.
I can't survive without a good blowout. Well, I need me a good blowout. If that's in there, I'm in.
Don't stop on B London Avenue, or that blowout is going to cost you extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's all I can think of.
See about that. All right, well, super sweet viral videos are giving us all the feels today. First, check out this video that was shared to Instagram. This was the boy's first day back in school after surviving Hurricane Dorian. He got a lot of love from his classmates. And social media lost it for this video. Showing two toddlers running for each other on a sidewalk. This is Maxwell and Finnegan, who are inseparable, according to Maxwell's dad. It had been 2 days since they had last seen each other, and they definitely made the most of their reunion.
If you watch the Jordin one as well fully, this one, the arms, the kid starts crying. And he holds his hand like this as they hold him. If you watch the full video.
Support.
And it's almost over. Now, after this, if we keep watching, he's sort of crying. If you watch his hand right here, you can tell he's having a hard time with the overwhelming amount of love and support.
Kids do it right.
They just get it.
They just
They're
get
like
it.
animals.
I know.
It goes to show you don't inherit hate.
I know.
It's taught to
It's
you.
taught. It's so true.
And
It's
that right there is a testimony.
I think about, my Sophie has a few little toddler friends, and when she sees them, it's the same thing. She squeals, like screams, and even like, Chin Chin, one of our editors here, when she sees Chin Chin, she bolts to Chin Chin. It's like, Chin Chin! Like, it's so sweet how excited little toddlers are. If we could learn something from them.
I know. They're our best teachers.
They are our best teachers. Look at this.
Look at their little arms.
I love it so much.
Squeaky.
Look at their, so cute. Well, DBL is live. Coming up, Tori goes one-on-one with American Idol winner Jordin Sparks. Does the singer keep up with the new Idol reboot? Find out in DBL Spotlight. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. CBD oil over chemo. The punishment a mom and dad received for how they chose to treat their son with cancer is causing a ton of controversy. Your comments about that next.
Tell them this. Apple TV just announced, this is to Steve and George, thanks for the shout out. They had a big announcement today. It'll be $4.99, Apple TV will now be, and it will be available November 1st. So a huge drastic rate deduction, which would be great for people.
So if I already have Apple TV,
It'll go down
automatically?
I assume. We're going to find out more and look into that. But that's
I've already switched to Hulu.
I get DirecTV now, so I have all of it.
I was gonna say you have everything.
I know, and it's like 35
the
cents a
cheapest
month.
is YouTube TV.
So we did YouTube and DirecTV.
Okay, so I have YouTube TV and Apple TV. And YouTube TV, you get to
it's amazing.
pick your handful of channels, and but you're not missing out on anything. We can pick ESPN, we can pick Bravo.
You can get HBO.
You can get HBO. You get to pick a la carte.
DirecTV now is also similar to that.
Nothing. It's
but you don't need the little thingy
save
too.
like $100 a month.
Yeah, it's like 30. It's like 40 bucks a
Nothing.
month.
Yeah.
So anyway, if it's whatever you're into, make sure you get it. Right now, I'm real deep into the Antiques Roadshow, and this one woman. Are you ready for this? Oh, right. Okay.
It's such a good show.
He goes. You know Mark Wahlberg? You do? Yeah. Cool. We'll talk later.
He knows everybody.
So I'm really into. Anywho, I'm really distracted now. He says, I brought this bowl in, and we used to serve salad in it, and I just thought maybe it's worth something. And he goes, this is a Native American bowl. It's burl, and it's worth $500,000. He's like, no more salad. He's like, okay. So anyway, let me know what you're watching right now.
What is it that you love so much about the Antiques Roadshow?
It's a history lesson and an adventure.
It's a cool show, Steph.
It's
You should
so
check it out.
fun. We have it. It started in England.
We have it, yeah.
Some of it is not right, too. Some of
it's very wrong.
Yeah.
I think you guys have it way older. This stuff is like real antiques.
It's really old, yeah.
Like ours is 1700s. Yours is like 1000.
Well,
You
tell you
know.
after this about something I owned that ended up there.
Oh,
That
interesting.
I owned it and ended up, so I know what it was worth.
Interesting.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, a Florida couple choosing alternative medicine over chemotherapy lost custody of their 4-year-old with leukemia. Joshua McAdams and Taylor Blandball were forced to give up custody of their son Noah after they ended his chemotherapy because of adverse reactions. Instead, they turned to alternative medicine, including CBD oils, fresh food, and alkaline water. Although they are now agreeing to chemotherapy, the judge is not backing down due to the substantial risk of neglect, quote unquote. So DBL Nation, should these parents have custody of their son, and were they neglectful? Please take it away, Brandon.
A lot of people writing in on this one. Georgia from Facebook says, at the end of the day, it's the parents who know what's best for their kid. I would disobey any doctor who tried to tell me how to care for my kid. Thanks for writing in, Georgia. And this is exactly what the parents did. They tried to seek other methods of medicine. They tried to seek other treatments, and they didn't think chemotherapy was working for their son. So they made a parental decision, and I feel as though they should have custody of their child.
Heather from Facebook says there's no scientific evidence that homeopathic treatments work. Their kid deserves more. I take a hard stance on this. First of all, Florida has a law that if there is an endangerment to the child of medical neglect, you can have custody. Now, the kid went to the grandma, and the parents have every right to get them back if they follow actual child protective custody and take him in. They left chemo in the middle, ran across state lines, ripped the PICC line out, and then evaded law enforcement. So for me, this kid had a 95% chance of success with this medicine. I'm not saying they can't incorporate Eastern medicine, but that child has no voice for themselves to advocate to save their life, and in that case, it's negligent, and you've got to let the kid
But do you
live.
think having the child ripped away from his parents, his safe haven, his mom and dad during the worst time of his life is a good idea right now?
Yes,
Even after,
yes, because he will save his life.
But the parents have agreed to do chemotherapy
After
again.
the judge threatened, after they evaded law enforcement, I don't think he thought they will imminently save them.
Well,
he thought
the parents are trying a bunch of different things. They tried chemo.
Right.
Of course, in the end, they should have stuck with it. But we don't know what it's like to be those parents. We don't.
They don't know what it's like to be the minor who doesn't have a choice in the matter.
But we don't see what's happening at night. According to those parents, that kid is getting violent. That kid is violently ill. That kid is attacking.
Is it better than being a dead kid? Yes.
I just think we got to be delicate with
I
blaming
agree.
these
This is a
parents
hard
here.
stance I
These
take, so I
parents
get it,
are
though.
trying to handle it,
And I think they're being
in many
negligent
different ways
and endangering the child.
I don't. I'm fearful to call them negligent yet.
Lynn from Facebook says, no, I don't agree with the judge. This should be left up to the parents. I've got to agree, Lynn. I don't think a judge has got any right to comment on this. I do believe the parents should listen to the advice of doctors. They've studied for many years to have that wisdom and advice. But ultimately, they know their child better than anyone. They know if their child can or cannot cope with the medication that's being given to it. And I think they're well within any right to look for alternative methods if they think it's going to be right for their child.
Would you say the same thing for vaccination? If a mother's like, I know what's right for my child.
Well, cancer isn't
I
contagious.
think that's very different.
Cancer isn't contagious.
Hey, yeah, cancer isn't going to...
Well, like polio,
Not a public health.
polio's not contagious, right?
But I think we're just being too extreme here, in my opinion. These parents are...
They ripped the PICC line from their
Because
kid.
at that moment, they saw some violent reactions that they felt was poisoning their children. So you can't... listen, you can't be perfect in scenarios like this. I'm not saying what the
totally agree
parents
with
are
you.
doing is right, and I'm not saying what the parents are doing is wrong. I'm just asking all of us to sit back and just kind of understand that,
But if you sit back, in my viewpoint, you're going to let this kid die.
Well,
and he doesn't have the advocate or a voice
But
to say,
they're
I want
listening
to
to their
live.
doctors. People aren't giving them that credit. They're just trying to find other avenues, but when their
By
doctors...
evading law enforcement? That doesn't seem
They
like...
didn't, though.
They did.
Initially, because
They left, I know, they went Florida to Kentucky.
I'm really hesitant to call these parents neglectful as of right now, considering that they
Even
still
though a
want to
judge
do...
did?
Well, it doesn't. We know judges,
I know,
Tori,
but
that
she
can
says
be
this
abhorrent, and
very
judges
true.
that can be helpful.
True. I just think this judge says he needs imminent chemotherapy, and he wasn't getting it.
Listen, I hope the best for this child. I just hope
I
that
do too.
everybody does not rush to judgment, because we don't know what it's like. But great conversation.
Yeah, very
really
good.
good conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for chiming in, DBL Nation. We will be right back.
Hey DBL Nation, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray for the Slay, and while we're here, go ahead and pull up those search bars, Jaray for the Slay, okay? Let's be friends and let's talk more about what your beauty needs are. Now for today, we're talking about skin that slays. And in today's Skin That Slays episode, I wanna talk about the nitty gritty, guys. The good stuff that really makes your skin get going. I'm talking about serums. Yes, I said skin serum, okay? Not scarum, serums, all right? Now, a serum is going to be more of a concentrated value of ingredients that are helping to change and make sure that your skin looks its absolute best. Now, with skin serums, you don't wanna actually be overdoing it at the same time and lapping on serum plus oil plus all this extra stuff. So you kind of actually want a basic routine when you're using a serum. But let's go back to what a serum is. Serums are going to be a highly concentrated value of vitamins that are going to be able to be a much smaller molecule so that they're able to get into your skin. Now, when you're using a serum, these are typically helping with affecting change in the skin, such as dryness, radiance in the skin, or maybe even for more acne-prone skin too. A couple of different serums that you can get would be like a hyaluronic-based serum for more hydrating skin. A antioxidant-based serum would be something with retinol. This guy is going to be for more brightening into the skin. Another one would be a serum with salicylic acid. These guys are going to be for more of your acneic skin type or people with more clogged pores. Now, serums are a wonderful way to actually treat your skin, but don't forget to make sure that you still cleanse your skin beforehand and moisturize afterwards. This will help to make sure that your serum is actually going to get into your skin and really help you out. So until next time, guys, let me know what your favorite serums are, and maybe we can go ahead and mix and match with some serums, okay? We'll see you guys next time for your next Beauty Blast.
Welcome back to DBL. This is an interview that could save your life. I sat down with Jordin Sparks. Remember, she won the title of American Idol at 17. Since then, she's taking on sickle cell disease awareness. It's a blood disorder that can cause extreme pain, blindness, and even sudden death. Well, here's the important part. You might have it and not even know. That's why we sat down with Jordin and a hematologist in today's Spotlight. Check it out. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Now, Jordin, sometimes people kind of have a hard time caring about things that don't impact them, right? But your stepsister, Brianna, suffered from sickle cell disease and was only 16 when she passed away. I want you to put a face to this disease by sharing what she went through.
We weren't stepsisters for very long. I mean, it felt like it went by so quickly. But she was so sweet, and she was a typical 16-year-old girl. She loved music and fashion, and she wanted to be a model, and she wanted to also be the face of sickle cell disease. She wanted to be an advocate for it. After she passed, I knew that I wanted to continue what she dreamt of doing.
That's incredible. Now, a lot of Jews suffer from, Ashkenazi Jews from Gaucher's, what my mom has. African Americans suffer sort of disproportionately. I want to know, why is it so important for our African American viewers watching to know this?
Yes.
Well, I think it's important because 1 in 12 African Americans carry sickle cell trait. Most people are unaware because having sickle cell trait, you don't feel anything, you don't know unless you have the blood test that reveals it. And by having sickle cell trait, you're at risk for having a baby with sickle cell disease. And I think, you know, most babies born in our country with sickle cell disease, their parents often aren't aware that they have sickle cell trait. So I think that's really the #1 reason why it's so important, particularly in the African American community, to know your sickle cell trait status. Talk to your doctor.
All right, Jordin, I'm going off script here.
I'm going to say 3 words, each word. You just tell me the first word and ideas that come to your mind, okay? So the first one is climate change.
Are you ready?
Hold your hand. Climate change.
Climate change. We need to fix it because we can do things about it.
That's very good. Very, very good. American Idol. How do you feel?
I kind of missed last season. I feel really bad. I know who won, but I still missed it.
You are starring, or going back to be on Waitress, which is one of my favorite Broadway plays and, of course, movies. If you were a pie, what pie would you be?
Okay, if I was a pie, I would probably be my mom's. It's gonna sound so weird, but she makes this pumpkin cream cheese pie every fall.
Oh, yum.
It's so good. It's so good. So I would probably be that. I'd be my mom's pie, which makes total sense.
That's adorable. You're your mom's pie. I really want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought by
Good. Okay, upon first looks, its appearance is appealing. It looks like it could have come out of a very cute European bakery for everyone at home. This looks like something we could definitely buy at a bakery, so that looks good. I'm gonna break it in half to see what this white liquid is. It smells quite sweet. Doesn't smell bad. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's good, actually. It could to improve. I actually feel as though there could be more of the white stuff. I feel like it's very. Oh, there we go. God heard my cry and answered. The white stuff is where it's at. I'm gonna give this a strong. You know, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 actually, because I would eat this. This is something I would keep at like work, you know, in my drawer. When I get a bit peckish and I'll fancy a cup of tea, instead of dipping a biscuit in, Brits, you can dip and dunk one of these and your afternoon is complete. So over and out from me and Mr. Twinkie, I'll leave you with this beautiful visual.
They say if you get the job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
And we love that at DBL. We get to tell it like it is, even if things get a little heated.
And since we're always live, you'll always see us 100% real.
But it's not just about what we think. We want your opinions on what's happening in our world.
Because we wouldn't want to do this without you.
So come on in.
And join the conversation. And we guarantee on DBL, we're never going to hold back.
Because we talk about what you're talking about.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I'm Sam. Let's get right to it. Be moderating that panel. Tori is spearheading. Congratulations.
Tori.
You will also have Al Jackson joining the panel.
Yes, awesome.
Lindsay Granger.
Yes.
Don't worry, you'll still be able to see Stephanie in the evening show. So
and what about you, Sam?
And you'll be seeing me at the 12, 1, and 2 o'clock now
it's
show.
Be a nice little roundup.
So stay tuned for that. But you guys, this is exciting. You got Lindsay Granger coming aboard. You got Al Jackson. Are you excited?
Up our game. They're just gonna up our game. I know it.
Are you gonna miss me and Stephanie?
Yeah, this is our last week. Our last week on this panel. Don't worry.
DBL Nation. But don't worry, we're still here. We only shoot 6 live shows. But congrats.
Thank you.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here, the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you. But right now I'm here to tell you about our Big Brother podcast. Jeff is back today. I know everyone's excited he is back. We are excited he's back here at Daily Blast Live. But we have a podcast about Big Brother. It's called In the House with Jeff Schroeder and Kelly Schubert. And we talk about all the drama that's happening in the house every week. I'm dying to see what's going to happen this week. Let us know what you think. But I just want to let you know about the podcast. It's really cool. You can find it on TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify. I nailed it. Stay tuned for the show coming up. We've got a lot of exciting things happening here at Daily Blast Live. We can't wait for you to join us in year 3. Starts next week. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, September 10th. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. You've been gone.
Yes.
Celebrating Leighton's 1-year birthday.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing going home to Chicago. Celebrated my parents' 50th anniversary on Friday night.
Congrats to them.
I know. Leighton's first birthday on Saturday. It was just an amazing
When did they
weekend.
get married? When they were 5? They're so young.
1969.
Man.
Yeah.
A
lot
it was
to
amazing.
celebrate.
A lot to celebrate. Good to be home.
Good.
Good to be back.
We are happy to have you back. We begin with a high-profile split. Sarah Palin's husband has filed for divorce after more than 30 years of marriage. Todd Palin submitted the paperwork on Friday, citing incompatibility of temperament as a reason, adding, quote, they find it impossible to live together as husband and wife. The couple married in 1988. He was by her side when she was elected governor of Alaska, and when she was a vice presidential hopeful alongside John McCain. They later went on to star in their own reality TV show on TLC, and meanwhile, just a week before this all went down, Palin was at a Kid Rock concert in Wisconsin, and it doesn't appear she's with Todd, but it does look like she's having fun. Well, Todd is asking for joint custody of their 11-year-old son, Trig. They have 4 other children together who are now adults. And just reading the comments, Al, on many people are not surprised, especially people in D.C., because they say that they have been living apart for quite some time, but they were staying together for the kids.
I thought they weren't surprised she was at a Kid Rock concert. That's the real tragedy of the story.
Okay.
I wouldn't go to that if he picked me up in a limo and brought me backstage. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, she clearly looked like she was having a good time.
Okay.
But, you know, people do stay together for the kids. While, you know, someone very near and dear to me who is a doctor says that that's not the right thing to do. You have been very public about being divorced on this show.
Right.
What was that like? What did you have to go through, especially because kids are involved?
Well, the kids come to the forefront. I mean, really, marriage is a very important thing, and I don't want to poo-poo that at all. I mean, it's really your lifelong bond. One of the person is to be taken very seriously. But once you bring kids into the situation, the game has changed. It's not about you guys anymore. And I know that's hard because right up until the kids are born, everything about you is about you. It's about Sam. What makes Jeff happy? What makes Erica tick? After that, it's over. It's like you guys are now in a business together. Your business is raising children. How are we going to do that? How are we going to make sure they're well-adjusted and ready for the world?
But you also want to show them love, right?
Well, they need to see that, and they need to see mommy and daddy in love, whether it's together or with somebody else. They need to see functional, happy relationships.
They haven't been living together, Erica, so how is that a good example? And believe me, I'm not throwing stones here. I'm just saying.
Well, I think, you know, I know people love this story because there's this feeling about Sarah Palin.
Because she was like the moral, the family moral values
really,
queen.
This story is super basic. Like, this is a very common story. You married someone, you guys both grew. You grew in different directions. I mean, that was pretty evident. Yeah, that was evident during the election way back when. I would never have been surprised that those two weren't going to be lasting forever. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You can see it. Like, you can always tell what someone's relationship is like.
Yeah.
And so can kids.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? They know it all. Chime in, DBL Nation. Well, speaking of marriage, a shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men. The study from Cornell University says women aren't getting married because prospective husbands can't provide enough financial security. You're smirking.
Al was kind of rolling his eyes.
What's happening right now? Tell us. I want to start with Jeff. What's happening?
Well, first of all, wait, what? There's not enough. Did I hear the first part? There's not enough attractive men?
No. Economic attractiveness. Like, okay, let's just revert back to the 1950s, right? A lot of women were oppressed with the notion, and some, of course, still want to choose that, but a lot of women felt like their only option would have been high school, kids, marriage, and that was about it.
Right.
But that's not necessarily the case anymore. So you're seeing women, if they do partner up, they want to make sure that they have like an equal economic, attractive financial comparison.
And this is a study from the women's point of view?
Why?
I don't know. I think I'd like to hear the men's point of view, right?
Well, what is the man's point of view?
I think it's human beings' point of view, because at this point, everybody's going to be coming in this relationship with some kind of debt attached to them.
Yes.
And it's more difficult. Like we talked about in the meeting, it used to be like a single family, like dad goes out and works, there's a mortgage, we get this paid off, he retires at 55. Now at 55, you're starting your second career. And at this point, your husband or wife,
in order to buy a home, you need a dual income today.
Right. But
that never was the case before.
Putting marriage on top of it, too, 50% of marriages don't work out in the first place. So not only are you paying for the kids that you had, you're paying your wife alimony, you have to support yourself in a new relationship. That's very expensive to do that. Right. You're raising you have two lives if you get divorced.
Well, Erica, does this make sense to you? Like, if you were to start fresh right now, would you make sure that that person was financially comparable to you?
Well, no, because when I got remarried, I was bankrupt, so I was the cautionary tale. But let me tell you, none of this, these things, really apply to my friend circle, because they're not the ones. I think it's actually the other way around. Women have become more financially attractive, and there are a lot of men who appreciate that financial attraction. I just think that we've gotten to a place where women are becoming the lead in their households and in the society, and therefore, of course, the pendulum has swung the other way.
Yeah, women are ballers. Shot callers. Okay.
Why don't you just go ahead and finish the verse?
Okay. Okay. Wow.
That was amazing.
That was a wrap, in case you didn't follow me.
Yeah, that was the most mom thing you've ever said.
Okay, leave me alone. We do have breaking news.
Hip-hop.
Thank goodness. Yeah, we have breaking news just in from the White House, actually. Let's get right to Kelly Schubert with the details.
That's right, Sam. The president just fired National Security Advisor John Bolton. Now, Bolton was the president's third national security advisor since he took office, but they apparently had disagreements over how to handle major foreign policy challenges. Now, President Trump just tweeted saying, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House." Meanwhile, John Bolton is tweeting saying he offered to resign. Sam?
Wow, thank you so much, Kelly. Chime in, DBL Nation. Well, a TV news anchor is taking a stand for her right to wear what she wants. Maggie Vespa from our sister station in Portland, Oregon, was trolled online by a viewer who objected to her high-waisted pants. He told her to, quote, dress like a normal woman, and now she's striking back. First, Maggie wore high-waisted pants on 5 separate newscasts, and then she voiced her opinion on the show. Watch.
Dress how you want, look how you want. And if anyone tries to make you feel less than because of that, that's their problem, not yours. In other words, there is no one way for a normal woman to look or be. 10 years ago, if I had heard from a Jeffrey, I would have needed someone to remind me of that. Now I'm very comfortable letting it roll off my back while I wear my high-waisted pants.
Yes, girl. Erica, what is it about, and you see it, especially being a woman of color, what is it about viewers saying what you should be wearing, how you should be wearing your hair?
Oh my gosh, the nails are the big thing with people. People really have to understand that I didn't get here by not taking risks. So I don't need a safe thing for people to say what I should and should not be doing. Yes, I absolutely decided to go natural. No, I absolutely did not know what I was doing. It was a learning curve. But I'm a risk taker because I know that there's an end game involved. So for people who want to offer what they would do, I already know what you would do. That's why I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But why do we feel like it's happening more to women? Like, nobody's commenting. True. You don't think so, really?
No. I think it's happening to everybody.
On what you wear?
They comment on everything, man. Yeah. They comment on everything.
I think it happens more to women. I do. Like, if I wear a certain thing, if my hair is not perfectly in place, I see comments immediately that day from people. Oh, well, your hair doesn't look
Here's
good
the thing. I respect Maggie for wearing whatever she wants because anyone should be able to wear whatever they want in a business attire. You know what I mean? You can't just wear a Kid Rock shirt to deliver the news. But to say I just let it roll off my back is the exact opposite of what she's doing here. She's proving to this person and saying, I'm going to wear this 5 days in a row because of your comment. Don't comment. Don't highlight that troll. Don't highlight any trolls. Just do what you want to do in life. By highlighting those trolls and making a whole segment about it means you do care. It's the opposite of rolling off your back.
I think she was trying to take ownership of it, but I understand what you're saying.
I totally get it. Yeah. I get it. But my philosophy is a little different. To each their own. She can do whatever she wants.
That you don't, and I look up to how you engage with. I mean, you have a big following. You do, coming off of Big Brother, and I look at how you engage with people that. I mean, for the most part, your fans are very supportive. But for the few people that do troll you, you don't engage with them, and I respect that. Do you want to ever?
Oh, all the time. I have the best comebacks. I would kill you guys if I could come back with some of these comebacks.
But do you ever write it and then delete it? Are you ever that tempted?
No, sometimes when I get to the point, I'm like, look at what someone wrote, Jordan. I'm like, what if I wrote this? And it's like really mean and aggressive. And I'm like, well, I can't, but that would be hilarious. and then I just block them.
How many people would still have a job if they just didn't send that tweet?
I know.
Just don't do it.
How many people?
Yeah, well, good for you, Jeff. You're a better person than I. DBL is live. Coming up, a viral video of 2 toddlers hugging. You have to see it. Plus, new bombshells surrounding Harvey Weinstein and his downfall. We'll tell you how he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow. Then, compassion is at the forefront of today's Heart Threads. We'll show you what happened when a boy needed new shoes but didn't have enough money to pay for them. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. CBD oil over chemo, the punishment a mom and dad received for how they chose to treat their son with cancer, is causing controversy big time. Your comments are next.
Nation, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now. Thanks for joining us today. Happy Tuesday. We're happy to have you here. We've got a lot of exciting things happening at Daily Blast Live, so we're happy you're here joining us. Let's go to the desk, though, and see what's going on with our host.
Great take on
Hey, host. What's going on?
Take was great.
What's going on up here? Hi.
What's up? What's up?
When you said you had Pilates in the sub, I thought you were saying,
dude, we got to get.
What was she saying in the sub? Oh, so Erica's talking about how she had Pilates earlier and she's still shaking, but when she said a sub, we both thought she had that.
I just got back from Chicago, so sandwiches are on my brain.
I was talking about a substitute teacher.
That's so funny. We immediately thought sandwich. Tell everybody about your trip.
So it was terrific. Like I said, we celebrated on Friday, my parents, and then on Saturday was my son's first birthday.
Was
Leighton.
it actually his birthday that day?
Friday was actually
Okay,
his
cool.
birthday,
Yeah.
yeah, but we couldn't, we wanted to celebrate my parents too. It was a couple weeks ago. But speaking of sandwiches, we ordered Portillo's, which is like a famous.
Now, why do people love? I hear
people
people
love
in
it.
Chicago talk about Portillo's. What makes it so good?
So it started in Chicago, actually. This guy, Dick Portillo, started with one stand. And now it's all, I think it's spread west. So it's
Good for
definitely
him.
gone west. He sold the franchise for just under $1 billion.
Whoa!
Yeah, so.
Is there one here? There is, right?
No, there's not one here. There's not
I
one
thought
here.
there
So when I lived in LA, there was one like 45 minutes away in Buena Park, and we drive some
you
Sundays,
wouldn't.
to go get this beef sandwich. So we ordered Portillo's for the party. I ate like 3. Well, they were mini beefs because we cut them up. I ate like 3 that afternoon. Then slept on my brother's Saturday night, because my parents took the kids home. Sunday morning, I woke up. He's like, "What's for breakfast?" I'm like, "Beefs." I ate a beef sandwich for
Now,
breakfast.
did Lawson get to have his first Portillo?
Yeah. Oh, he's had it already. Well,
he has?
Jordan, I remember taking pictures when he was born, and like baby's first beef before it even came out. So we were eating beef sandwiches for a long time.
It's so funny how we have depending on where you live, you have polls to certain restaurants and I know that.
So you're gonna have to raise 30 for 5th.
Okie dokie. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for 5th Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, a Florida couple choosing alternative medicine over chemotherapy lost custody of their 4-year-old with leukemia. Joshua McAdams and Taylor Blandball were forced to give up custody of their son Noah after they ended his chemotherapy because of adverse reactions. Instead, they turned to alternative medicine, including CBD oils, fresh food, alkaline water, etc. Although they are now agreeing to do chemotherapy, the judge isn't backing down due to, quote, the substantial risk of neglect. So DBL Nation, should these parents have custody of their son, and were they neglectful?
Man, all right,
This
Sam.
is tough.
This is really
Jeez.
tough. June from Facebook says, in what world do we think it's okay for a doctor to make a final decision for parents? June, again, this is a tough one, and I'd have to refresh my HIPAA code understandings, but I don't know. I guess maybe in the case where a child can't advocate for themselves and they have parents that don't believe in any kind of medicine at all, including vaccines, including surgery, including things that could definitely save their life, then what do we do? Does that seem like the case in this case? No, this case seems very nuanced. It seems like we have two intelligent, loving, thoughtful parents that are doing what they think is best, but those parents didn't go to medical school, and the people that did go to medical school said that they should approach it another way. So this is a real tough one. Sorry to be on the fence.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Well, Laura from Facebook says these parents should never have been parents in the first place. Clearly, they are wildly unfit to care for a child. When he gets a scrape, do they rub dirt on it instead of Neosporin? Laura, I think chemotherapy is a lot different than Neosporin. I work sometimes with an organization called CASA's, Court-Appointed Special Advocates. Removing a child from the home is the last thing you want to do, and reunification is always top priority. So I think that maybe there's some things that we don't know about, but if a parent is advocating for their child and is in a loving home, I see no reason for the child to be removed from the family. I actually think that that might create more problems.
Right? This child's going through chemo yet again. Shouldn't this child have their parents by his side?
Yeah.
So sad.
Exactly the point I was going to make. Nancy from Facebook says they were upfront with the doctors. This is horrible. They are being punished. Nancy, I agree with you. I just want to jump on the coattails of Erica. Where are you going to put this kid now?
Well, with
this
their grandparents,
Oh, with the grandparents?
Still,
okay.
I know.
But still, you're taking away from their child during the most horrific time of their life. And I got to join Al on the fence on this one. I don't know what I would do in this situation. Seriously, if my child was crying to me every night saying, Daddy, I can't take it. I'm sick. I don't want this medicine anymore. I would be heartbroken.
Right.
I would try if someone said, eat grapefruit peels, I would make them eat grapefruit peels. Whatever I thought would work, I would try. And it seems like that's what these parents are doing. And now they're being punished for it. So I get what you're saying. They need the chemo, but I think they were just trying everything they could to help this child.
Yeah, Barb from Facebook says these parents were definitely being neglectful. They needed to listen to the doctors who have studied for years how to treat their son. Again, I'm going to be very hesitant in passing judgment here. I don't know what it's like to have a child so sick. Apparently this child, so they did at one point remove the pick from the IV during chemotherapy, took the child away. Now, in the meantime, they were trying chemotherapy. They said that their child was very violent at home, very sick, and they were concerned that they were poisoning their child. So then they thought, let's try some alternative treatments, maybe go back to chemotherapy. Again, I can't imagine watching my Sophie go through that. So I think there's, as Al said, this is more of a nuanced conversation. I'm not going to be quick to judge these parents on this one. My heart bleeds for everyone involved, and I don't think taking the child away is the right thing to do at this time. I really don't. But we really appreciate all of you writing in. This has been this has been quite the polarizing conversation.
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing more comments on this fifth host than most. Well, coming up on DBL, caught on camera, a driver fast asleep inside a self-driving Tesla, but that's not even the scariest part. And watch what happens when a perfect stranger overhears a boy's dilemma when he wanted new shoes but couldn't afford them. Heart Threads is next.
We are live. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's your digital break with Brandon. We're going to get into this fifth host, and I wanted to bring in a parent on this one. I don't have kids, so I wanted to continue to get your opinion and to help me talk to the viewers out there who are writing in.
And again, I don't know. I really don't know the answer. What I would do, you know what I mean? Like I said up there, I don't know if I'd say if my child was hurting, I'd want to help them any way I can. If someone told me this worked or this worked or this worked, I'd want to try everything I could to help my child. That's where I'm coming from. So let's hear some comments.
Okay, let's get to some comments. Lorena House says, I agree with the ruling. She's watching in KSDK in St. Louis. Susan Williams watching on 11 Alive in Atlanta says, I agree to do what's best for the kids. As long as violence isn't involved and if the parents can be civil to each other, then kudos to those that choose to. That has nothing to do with that one.
Right.
Let's see, Janelle Hunt, granddaughter been through cancer twice, chemotherapy is hell, and no one should judge what parents decide to do. Until you have been there, keep your mind open.
There you
So
go. That's a
agree with
perfect
that?
example. That's a perfect example. And I don't know, no one I know's had, well, one of our producers has, and we heard from her this morning. But it's a really, really tough one. I get listening to doctors, and I'm all for listening to doctors. I'm not for like that Eastern medicine or Western medicine, whatever. Whatever. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. Coming out.
Is it Eastern or Western?
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a stranger who stepped in to help a family in need. Watch how a simple gift of shoes made a huge difference. This man's random act of kindness for a kid went viral. 11-year-old Zach and his mom were shopping for some new shoes.
I had the same shoes for about 9 months, and the bottom of them were destroyed.
Zach's mom told him that they could only spend $20. Lito Mason overheard their conversation.
I asked him, what type of shoes do you like? And he said, I just want something that's comfortable. I was done. At that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna get him whatever he wants.
Lito bought Zach a pair of shoes, and Zach's grateful mom asked to take a picture. She posted about Lito's kindness on social media, and it went viral.
As Lito went to pay for everything, we walked outside, and Zachary was like, Mom, I can't believe he helped us. He just helped us. It's like an angel, Mom.
Despite the outpouring of praise, Lito has remained humble.
Just something that I wanted to do. For one time in his life, I didn't want him to worry about a price. And it was simple as that.
Kindness. It's as simple as that. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
What's going on, DBL Nation? I'm back. What a Heart Threads. How a simple act of kindness can just go so far, especially with everything we're going through today. We wanted to talk about a story that Jeff sent in this morning.
Oh man, I'm back.
To talk about.
I sent it in for access because you were on
for access. For later.
Yeah.
So DBL access.
We might do it tomorrow.
Or we might do it tomorrow. Kind of explain the story.
It's like you're translating for me to the DBL Nation.
I speak fluent Jeff.
Tell them I appreciate them tuning in.
Jeff would like to say he really appreciates you all tuning in and all the happy well wishes to his son's first birthday.
Oh yeah, tell him thanks.
He would like to say, gracias.
Anyways, the story is about college athletes getting paid, and we always talk about that. I think a lot of shows talk about that. And I always said, listen, if you're selling their jersey, they should get a cut of that. I don't know how you're going to individually pay each person and how you break that up. That's a more complex scenario. But if someone's obviously selling their jersey or likeness, which is exactly what happened in California, those players are going to get paid now. So the NCAA, was it NCAA or someone passed the rule? I have to look up the story exactly of what happened. But in California, those college players, if you're selling their likeness or their jersey, they will get paid now.
As it should be, and I'm tired of people using the excuse or coming up with the argument of they're getting a free education and getting a free education. The only place in the world where education is so expensive is America. So it's like you're saying we get a free education, but we go to Canada, you can go to McGill College, which is like their Harvard up there, and I believe it's only like maybe like 10, no more than 10 grand a semester, because their college education system is different. Now, if you want to talk about it, these schools are making hundreds of millions of dollars on these athletes, and you can say, oh, you're getting a free education, but you know that doesn't correlate to me. Like, I want more of that money, you know, because you're building libraries, you're building. Clemson has a slide that goes from the coaches' offices down to the front floor, and then they walk out.
And let alone their coaches are making millions.
Yeah, he's making money. Dabo Swinney is making millions off the backs of these athletes. And you think about the money that we generate. How many of y'all were like waitresses or bartenders in college around here? Anybody? Waitresses? When you guys would make the most tips when there's a sporting event, a football game, or a big-time basketball game. Everyone's making money, but the gladiators that are in the ring.
So the best, NCAA is the best business model in the world.
In the world.
You don't pay any of your employees, you just collect all the profits.
Translation, pay the players.
Well, they are in California now. This story just broke.
So it's going to be time to move. If you want your kid to play
California.
If you want your kid to play college sport,
so it's
send them to California.
If their jerseys
They say if you get the job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
And we love that at DBL. We get to tell it like it is, even if things get a little heated.
And since we're always live, you'll always see us 100% real.
But it's not just about what we think. We want your opinions on what's happening in our world.
Because we wouldn't want to do this without you.
So come on in and join the conversation. And we guarantee on DBL, we're never going to hold back.
Because we talk about what you're talking about.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I'm Sam. Let's get right to it. Woo, we got some fun stuff coming up. Yes, we do. Lots of surprises. I hope everyone will be tuning in. Of course, we're on. We haven't gone anywhere, but lots of fun stuff coming up next Monday.
Yeah, people are still chiming in, and you can continue to do so using the hashtag dbltake about our fifth host.
Oh, yes.
A lot of
Very
parents.
polarizing.
Barb just says, I can't imagine what they're going through. It's so sad. Happy Dee says, when you have a sick child, it's heartbreaking for the parent. None of us can sit in judgment until we walk in their shoes. Naomi says, removing the child, especially when they're so sick, is the worst for their well-being. It could make them more sick. As for treatment, that is tough, but the doctors know the facts.
Gosh, I'm looking at all the reactions online, and most people attacking the parents, I don't think know all the details.
Well, it's easy to attack instead of just empathizing. My youngest son, baby Ford, was sick from about age 1 to age 2.
Wow.
He kept getting infections. Chest infections would roll over to ear infections. It was one of the worst years of my life. I feel like I'm still traumatized by it. And that was just infection. I couldn't imagine talking about cancer, and then on top of that, you go on Facebook and somebody's saying you should lose your kid.
I know.
Like, let's
and then you do lose
remember
your
we're
kid.
human beings here.
Is the judge going to give them back now that they said they're willing to do chemo?
It seems like the judge is doubling down. He doesn't trust their decision making.
Yeah.
I know. Well, here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Explosive new claims in a book all about Harvey Weinstein's downfall. How he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow for his dirty deeds. Then, asleep at the wheel. It's the video going viral of a driver snoozing in a Tesla. But that's not even the worst part. And from sea to shining sea, we've got the list of happiest and unhappiest states. Some might surprise you when DBL comes back.
You guys are so hot, I'm nervous. Okay, hi guys, I've been staring at you for 5 minutes. All right, here we go. I'm starting to waste your time. Emma, Olivia, welcome to Daily Blast Live. First things first, let's talk dogs. Now, Olivia, you have 2 dogs, Sir Chancelot and Frankie, but Sir Chancelot has 35,000 followers. So do you have a game plan for a chance to overtake Selena Gomez's 152 million followers?
We were talking about this yesterday. Right, he's an influencer for sure. But he's also bringing attention to shelter dogs. Like,
yes, that's with the Shelter Pet Project, because both Chance and Frankie are rescues. Also Stella's a rescue as well.
Yes, Stella.
And so we did this great campaign for the Humane Society and Maddie's Fund to get people to rescue from the shelter more. They went from the shelter in the streets to just billboards around the country and in Times Square. It's just the cutest thing.
Well, now onto the show, The Rook.
Can I tell you a secret?
Hello? Someone is going to attack me and wipe my memory. If you're watching this, it's already too late.
I've noticed a trend, ladies, in Hollywood about action spy thrillers. All the main characters are turning out to be women lately. I think women make way better spies. We're more intuitive. Tell me what you guys think about women making better spies than the fellas.
Right before we shot The Rook, I had done another show where I played a CIA operative, and I had learned from all of my conversations with ex-CIA people that the women were most likely the better snipers within the CIA, and they're just a better shot. And also they were just better because they could be more inconspicuous. They were more intuitive. They could understand both men and women so much better than just just their own sex.
I don't think this women having lead characters in these spy dramas is a trend. I think it's here to stay.
Emma, you are known for playing these gritty, little rough around the edges characters. Is your The Rook character the same? And do people have totally misconceived ideas about you because you play these characters?
We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. We are learning new details about what brought down Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. The book called She Said is out today. The New York Times reporters who broke the story wrote it. In it, we learned Gwyneth Paltrow played a big role in the investigation. She was one of the first people to speak out. Gwyneth became aware that Weinstein would use her name to get other women to do what he wanted. He would say things like, quote, "Don't you want what she has?" More than 80 women have accused Weinstein of inappropriate sexual behavior. He has denied any non-consensual acts and has pleaded not guilty to sexual assault charges. His trial starts in January. So he used her as a grooming tool. Like, if you want to have Gwyneth Paltrow's career, Erica, pretty much you're going to have to do what I tell you to do. And almost insinuating that that's how Gwyneth Paltrow got to where she is.
Right, and she was the first, but she wasn't the only name that he used. And honestly, this isn't surprising.
I think he used Rachel Weisz's as well. Yeah.
It's not surprising. I think really when it comes to Gwyneth Paltrow being at the forefront of it, it's almost like when they say, to whom much is given, much is required. This is her requirement to speak out because she, in some sense, is protected.
Yeah, and she did say, Jeff, that she feared that she would not work again in Hollywood because of his power, even though she was Gwyneth Paltrow. And she also, what came out of the book is you learn a lot about Bob Weinstein, his brother, and how Bob believed this whole time it was just a sex addiction. Whether or not that's true or not, if he thought that something more nefarious was happening, he, according to the New York Times reporters, believed that it was a sex addiction.
I don't know if it's a sex. I don't like taking things and then saying I cheated on my wife. Well, I'm a sex addict.
No, this was criminal. There was no consent.
I mean, this is not the same thing.
Yes.
I hate that excuse for when people do something bad. This is actually the worst end of this spectrum. I applaud, I guess, Gwyneth Paltrow for coming out. I wouldn't want my name tarnished like that. I wouldn't want anyone to think that I was involved in any sort of way or that's how I got my career. So I think she has to step up, even if she doesn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, we have like big flashy names like, Gwyneth Paltrow, Harvey Weinstein, and so I think people watching at home go, oh, well, this is Hollywood. This is everywhere. This has to do with power, and until human beings understand how to fix a power dynamic, like think about how different DBL would be if I decided how much everybody in this room got paid. I don't care. I think I'm a cool guy, but after a couple years of that, I'd be like, yeah, Sam, I'll be with you when I get to you. You totally start talking crazy to people because you can. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this is what we have
in
every single. I don't care if we're talking about a chain restaurant manager that's like, oh, if the cute girl wants the Friday shift,
Let me tell you, as a former waitress, it happened. I'm not saying it happens at all venues, but one of the venues that I worked on, let me tell you, I got the crappy shifts because I was not doing what
but
you are going to see it when you have older men working around a lot of attractive younger women that need something from them, that could get something from them. You're going to have this all the time.
Yeah,
so
well, I can't wait till he's sentenced already. Can this like January speed up already?
No, Christmas is over.
Yeah, you're blowing
I know
through the
that's
good
true.
months.
That's true, but I'm ready to see him.
I'm not wasting Thanksgiving because of Harvey Weinstein.
I'm ready to see him behind bars.
I didn't even
really
have a pumpkin spice yet.
You still have yet to have your pumpkin spice?
Jeff is old school.
It's got
cool down.
He has his ways. He does. All right, well, we are switching gears to celebrate a cancer survivor, Alex Trebek. Just started the new season of Jeopardy. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Alex Trebek is back in action after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He kicked off the new season last night.
Jeopardy begins its 36th season on the air, and I'm happy to report I'm still here. Our champion, Jason, thank you.
Over the summer, he completed chemotherapy and celebrated his 79th birthday.
Wow. It's exciting.
That is awesome. That's
and I know
really
that you're a
awesome.
huge Jeopardy fan, so are you excited for the new season?
I am excited for the new season, but it's on pause right now because Anthony wasn't home last night.
Oh, so you guys have to watch it together.
Yes, it's very important.
Do you compete against one another?
Well, we don't compete, but if one of us watches it before, it
You're in
becomes a
trouble.
problem because, because then you know the answers. Not that I would remember all those answers.
You could sum up what type of guy he
I
is
know.
just by not taking attention away from the people who are actually on the show or the show itself by saying, I'm still here. He gave himself 1 second to like thank everybody,
Because
wrap
you know
it all
the
up.
producers probably had something big planned, and he was like, I don't want that.
And just back to business.
Reminds me of my
What a
dad
great
a
guy.
lot, just like old school. Like, no, my dad would, if you mentioned his birthday, that's enough. Like, he didn't want any celebration.
Wanted it
so
about you.
I
I'm
respect
sure.
that, yeah.
Well, a teenager at a high school swim meet with a wedgie is creating controversy. She won the 100-meter race, but was disqualified because the school issued swimsuit began riding up her bottom. This is the standard for swimsuit coverage on female swimmers. A swim coach is coming to her defense, saying she is a curvy, non-white athlete, and she is the only one who walked away with a uniform violation, and that most adult suits break the modesty rule. Let me tell you, as someone who swam her entire life as a Division I swimmer, I would say 3 out of 5 times, Erica, I dove into that pool, my swimsuit would ride up my rear, as almost all of my teammates, because that is part of it. It's embarrassing. You're not going to take a moment to remove it because you want the fastest time possible. But I feel like that this goes to a whole nother level. Why is she the one being penalized?
Well, I'll tell you why, Sam.
Yeah, please
because
do.
there's a lot of self-loathing projection. Anytime you have a situation where there's only one variable in the equation, everyone's wearing the same suit, and the girl who is the curvy girl gets pulled out, I think that a lot of times, and women and men who work with younger kids need to check themselves on their own bias.
Yes.
Because a lot of that comes from self-loathing and the fear that you would be the one to be the curvy one. Like that's something to be diminished. And I think a lot of times women and men will project their insecurities onto young people, and it's so devastating and so detrimental. Like there is a reason why representation matters, because that's a normal body, and the idea that she's being not only penalized for it, she's also being sexualized
and
for
she
it.
is 1,000% being
that was my
sexualized for
question.
it. She's being shamed for it too. People are saying that she did it on purpose. Really? Like anybody that knows swimming, you know that that's going to happen a handful of times, more than a handful of times, every single time that you race. Like it's going to happen. So for them to then make it look like, oh, you're doing this for attention is absolutely
The saddest
atrocious.
thing about this is, and you guys would know as competitors, is she won. She won this race, and we're not talking about that. Apparently, I read the article, she killed
and
everybody.
she probably was super embarrassed, Al, because every time it happened to me, I was super embarrassed. Every time I did a flip turn.
You have to be embarrassed
super
because
embarrassed.
So you've won, and then you hear over the loudspeaker that you've been disqualified. So now you hear a bunch of adults murmuring and understanding that it's because of your behind. That this is. I mean, that is a fork in the road of your life.
But it's very few adults, as Erica said, because most people understand that that's par for the course.
Yes, but
your
it's a
cap
public
could
humiliation.
It is, but your cap could come off. Your suit could ride up your tush, but most people, sane people, have empathy, or they just see it as for what it is. It's the few people that are either sexualizing that young girl or they're projecting, and it's their own bias.
Listen, before everyone gets crazy, I agree with everybody, but let me just say this. Is there something to be said that Alaska is a little bit more modest than the lower 49? Like, they're dressed up all winter long, or all summer long mostly, you know what I mean? I don't think they're as progressive as the lower 49. I want to judge Alaska. I don't know what it's like up there. But is there anything to say that their standards or their morals are a little bit different than ours down here?
That's a fair question. Then I would make sure that you issue, there's a ton of racing swimsuits. You've seen the Olympics now that some of the swimsuits almost look like bike shorts. So those are very fast swimsuits as well. So I would say then, if that's such an issue, make sure you equip that female team so it's not an issue. So equip them with the swimsuits.
And the male team, I'm assuming they're wearing Speedos, right?
Yeah, the male team wears Speedos, but you don't see this happening to the male team.
Exactly.
It ain't an issue.
I mean, Alaska's cold. I wouldn't say it's modest.
No.
I mean, I know that people are covered.
Always covered up.
Right, but I mean, we're covered up in Chicago, too. We aren't that modest.
No, I get it. I was just,
it's good to have,
they're
have
more
another
conservative
side.
states.
But
I see that.
All right, well, here we go again. Another driver asleep at the wheel of a self-driving Tesla. This was on a Massachusetts highway, and the passenger is asleep too. The person who took this video tried honking his horn to wake them up. It didn't work. And apparently in Massachusetts, there is no law that you can, I guess, fall asleep at the wheel driving a Tesla, so they're going to have to put that in the law. Tesla, of course, is saying you can't do this. So what's happening?
It looks like you can.
Are people buying Teslas just so they can fall asleep at the wheel?
Funny enough, my brother got a Tesla. He's super excited about it. It was on like a long waiting list. But anyways, he took me for a drive in it, and I'm like, so what's up with this self-driving? So if you're on a regular street, it doesn't work as well. If you're on a highway and it has the 2 painted lanes, the car detects it a lot better. So that's why you're only seeing this on highways, because if you go on a long stretch with painted lanes on both sides, the car detects it a lot better and you're a lot safer.
As opposed to like stop signs and...
It doesn't detect stop signs.
Okay.
So if
That's a problem.
Or stop lights. So you could have it during like in your neighborhood, but you still have to control the brake. It'll make sure you don't swerve in and out, but it will not detect.
Will it allow you? Like, what if somebody didn't know that?
So it detects if a car's coming closer to you, so it'll slow it down. So that's why you're only seeing this on highways.
Are you scared,
because of the technology. And I just had this conversation over the weekend. I was like,
that seems like a whole lot of room for error.
A lot of room for error. A lot.
I mean, really, we had the story when we first started about the guy who was decapitated because he was watching Harry Potter, and there was a sunspot, and there was a semi, and the Tesla went underneath the semi, and that's how he died.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of risk.
No, I can't believe people can just be so nonchalant.
Oh my God.
Go to bed.
I can't sleep anywhere like that.
Yeah, right, Al. You sleep at your desk.
I don't sleep in my desk.
You have slept at your
Al
desk.
Jackson, you can sleep anywhere.
Let me find one picture.
We'll find one. Coming up on DBL, Dead On and Erica, breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. We've got great tips in our dollars and cents and the all-new list of the country's happiest and unhappiest states. Some of them might surprise you, so stick around.
Best.
Yeah, we're talking about Teslas. Jeff, you rode one this week.
Yeah, so my brother got one. He loves it. He's like all up to date on technology.
Computer.
It's crazy, and the pickup's so fast. So like I was saying earlier, it won't detect stoplights or anything. So if you're driving, there's no car in front of you, you're gonna blow right through that if it's on automatic. If there's a car in front of you, it'll sense something's in front of you and slow down.
Chin Chin has a Tesla. I was talking to her about it earlier.
What'd she say?
Chin
Here
Chin.
she is.
Yeah,
Chin
she's
Chin.
right here. Chin Chin,
Come
tell
on.
us all the things.
Chin Chin.
Have you ever tried to use the autopilot? And tell us what it's like.
It won't let you fall asleep.
It won't?
Because the car was so smart, so it designed the way that, it will alert you. It's like you need
So
to
what about these drivers that are falling asleep?
I honestly think it's just for the viewing, the clicking.
Really?
Yeah, because there are also videos out there showing that the car is giving multiple alerts.
How will
to
they
the
alert you
driver.
if you try to?
He shakes and the monitor will beep and all that.
Whoa. Like it can tell if your eyes are off the road.
No, the hands. The weight on the steering wheel. So eventually, if you don't touch the steering wheel, the car will stop.
Or if you don't have the weight on the steering
Right, and the
wheel.
car will stop, and then the car will set up the safety distance from your car and the car in front of you.
Right.
If the car slam, let's say if the car in front of you slam the brake, your car will stop too. With the
Right,
same
in front
distance.
of you.
The car is by far the safest out there.
Do you mind if we
But if you had it on like on the regular streets and there was no car in front of you at the stoplight, it would keep going, right? Because there's nothing to stop the car. As opposed to on the highway.
But
Right.
most people will not do autopilot.
That's what I'm exactly, but that's why you only see it on the highway.
Right.
Welcome back to DBL. Want to live a happier life? Ever consider packing up and moving? Well, Wallet Hub just revealed the happiest states in the U.S. It's ranked by emotional and physical health, along with work and natural environments. Before we reveal the top 5 happiest states, anyone have any guesses?
I think Colorado. Colorado is probably up there in Utah. People love Utah.
Colorado, Utah?
I was going to go Colorado.
Colorado?
Maine?
Maine, interesting choice.
Got
I would
water?
say California, Colorado. That's what I was. Hawaii, for sure, Hawaii.
What about California? You don't think?
I just said California.
We
Thanks
probably
for
have a lot more to do.
But Hawaii for sure. Okay, so here we go. So the 5th happiest state is New Jersey, the Garden State.
Jersey's 5?
Yeah.
Jersey's nice. People love Jersey.
People love Jersey. Number 4, California. Yeah, California. Snagging the 3rd spot is Minnesota. I thought it was so cold there.
I called it.
Rounding out 2nd, there you go, Al. Utah, no Colorado. Congrats to the Aloha State. Hawaii is ranked number 1. Yep. How could anybody not want to live in Hawaii?
It's
I dream of
expensive.
it. I know, but I dream of it, Erica.
And
I
also,
do.
I would think you would get island fever.
You think so?
Yeah, it's just after a while, there's a set amount of people. I mean, you start to kind of run into the same people over and over again.
It's a big deal, actually. I was up for a job in Maui.
Wait, how come when Erica corroborates it, she's like, really?
I was up for a job in Maui a while ago, and the big determining factor was the fact that this guy already lived there, and then they kept asking me, like, are you sure? Have you ever heard of island fever? And I'm like, I don't care, just give me the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
didn't get the job.
happened?
Well, they gave it to the local
And
guy,
we have you now.
which is probably
so,
better.
Yeah, we got Erica Cobb, so there you go. Let's check out the least happiest states. Anyone want to guess what state rounded out the bottom 5? Go, Jeff. What's the worst? What do you think?
Honestly, I'm going to get hate for this. New York City.
Okay. All
Or
right.
New York, yeah.
Yeah, well, Louisiana ranked 46th in the U.S., the 47th happiest state, so on the bottom, though. Mississippi, 48, Alaska. Second to last is Arkansas, and finally, the least happiest state, according to Wallet Hub, is West Virginia.
What's up with West Virginia?
I don't know.
I would think just the joy in New Orleans would balance out Louisiana. There's so much joy.
When was the last time you were in Manhattan? I'm going to sound super old, but I was there like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't even cross the street, and I lived in Chicago. I'm like,
I love it.
It's too bananas over
It
here.
is bananas, but I love it.
You're in Times Square, Jeff. It's not like that when you're in like Chelsea.
Yeah, if you're on the Lower East Side, it doesn't feel that way.
Oh, fancy. I was running through cabs in Central Park.
I could see you running
I didn't like it. I was like, this is crazy.
Did you say, I'm walking here?
No, I ran for my life.
Also, check this out. The survey also took into account some other rankings, like state for the best sleep, South Dakota, or fewest work hours. That belongs to Utah, as well as having the lowest divorce rate. The highest income rate, North Dakota has the highest income.
That's that oil up there,
That's
right?
what I was going to say. Is that oil money,
Yes,
Erica?
it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
North Dakota, huh? And who had the most sleep? Who had the most sleep again?
South Dakota.
Nice.
Is that a good
It's funny how
maybe you should
Utah
market like that.
Utah was one of the top 5 happiest, and they worked the least.
And they had the least divorce rate.
I think
I don't know about that one. I'm just kidding.
Coming Coming up on DBL, what you can do right now to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Don't miss our financial tips next in Dollars and Cents.
What's up, Beauty Blast? I'm Jordin for the Slay, and today we're talking a little beauty tea gossip. Now, a lot has been going on in the beauty world lately, but one new collaboration is setting a new record for everybody, all right? Drybar and IT Cosmetics has collabed together for a brand new product launch coming August 1st. Now, can you guess what it is? Now, let's think about this. They're both cosmetic companies. Drybar does hair, IT Cosmetics does skin and makeup. What could they do in common? Oh yeah, lashes. Lashes have hair, right? And we use them in makeup as well, so it kind of makes sense. Guess what? It is a mascara that they're making for us, guys. This mascara looks like it's out of this world, and it actually combines two great features from both companies. Now, IT Cosmetics came into play and actually gave those great killer ingredients that it's so well known for. Biotin, collagen, and hyaluronic acid too, all to help hydrate and lift those beautiful lashes and keep them looking pretty. Drybar came in and said, let's make it look just like what everyone wants. Let's give them what they want, let's say that. Volume, guys. They actually took the idea from their volume-based hair products and they actually created this little mascara brush that looks just like their round brush. Crazy, right? Now, it even went as far as to having little yellow balls on the tips of the brush to actually separate and define the lashes, which I was like, okay, y'all might be trying it a little bit too much. Now, with this mascara, it actually is going to be having an amazing finish and it's supposed to give you that beautiful lift and curl. So we're gonna try it out and see just how it does very soon here. Now, it launches on August 1st, so hopefully we get it once it gets into a retail store right away. So, for more beauty gossip, make sure you check out more Beauty Blast and check out my social media platforms at Jordin for the Slay. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio. Now, we've heard the term living paycheck to paycheck. If you feel financially stuck, there's a way to break that cycle, and we're sharing tips on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. Now, Felicia, finances are tough, even harder when you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. What are some tips to help everyone break that cycle?
You know, this paycheck to paycheck cycle strikes a lot of Americans, like almost 70% to be exact. So what we're going to do, we're just going to break down 3 easy things so that you can kind of start getting out of this cycle. So the first thing you want to do is track your expenses. So you want to make sure you document your spending from the last 4 to 6 weeks, because we need to know exactly where your money is going and actually what is coming in at the same time.
So when you say track your expenses, do you mean your spouse's expenses?
Everybody's expenses, yes.
Good tip.
Everybody's expenses. And then also we're going to focus on fixed expenses. Now, the rule of thumb is that your fixed expenses should be 30% or less than your monthly income. So we want to make sure we're looking at everything, because we want to make sure we're not really living a lifestyle that we can't afford.
Outside our means.
Yes, so
right.
You want to make sure we take care of that. Now, the next thing you want to do is put your savings on autopilot. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, we always forget about savings.
Right.
And you know what? That's when emergencies pop up. So you want to pay yourself first. No matter what you do, pay yourself first. Auto draft features. I love auto draft with the bank. Auto draft your money into general savings, vacation savings if you want to go on vacation, emergency funds, 401ks. Just put that auto draft to work and pay yourself first so that we can at least have some money.
Right, because then you forget about it.
Yes,
that's what I have. It takes away from my checking account into my savings account each month.
And then we can go back and look at those expenses. And then the final thing we need to do is understand wants versus needs. Now, this is a hard one. Because sometimes we want things that we don't really need. So when we do wants versus needs, this is a quick way to prioritize your expenses. And I like to just write down on a sheet of paper or ask myself, do I really want this or do I need this?
Right.
So we want to make sure we just do this exercise on a regular basis. And then also give your money a why. Most of the time we just spend money just because it's, you know, just fun to spend it. But if you give it a why, like, you know, for your kids, for, you know, if you want to leave a legacy, leave money behind, donate it, just give your money a why, and it'll really help you focus and get out of this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle.
I love that. And I love the want versus need, because sometimes I just want something to want it, and I wait 2 weeks to see if I really want it.
Yeah.
Turns out I didn't want it as bad as I
sometimes we just buy things because we want it right then and there. So yeah, give yourself time.
I like it. I like it. But treat yourself.
Yes, treat yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Felicia. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Hi, DBL Nation, it's Raquel here. This is one of those stories where I'm also going to talk to the back of Kelly's head because she'll be excited about it too, if she was paying attention. Oh no. Sorry, if the camera's on you.
What's up?
Apple 11.
Oh, we need Michael over here to talk about it. Michael has already tried to order one, okay?
Okay, it has 3 cameras. That's all you need to know.
So what does that do for you? Do you think it
stand.
zooms in more? Do you think it zooms in more?
I think it's going to add a little more clarity.
I would think so,
I
right?
think it's going to look real good right now.
I want it, but I'm not greedy. I got a new one last year.
And then Leo was telling me there's also going to be a thing called Apple Arcade.
Ooh, that's totally up Leo's alley.
If you have any questions about any new Apple product, Leo's giving me the rundown. Apple TV is starting in the fall.
Leography 101.
And the show, the morning show. I can't wait for that.
That's
November 1st, right?
I really hope that it's kind of like a bingeable series and not like a weekly one.
Ooh, see, I hope it's a weekly.
You want it
if I
weekly?
binge it, then it's going to be over so fast.
That's true.
And I'll watch them all at once. But if it's a weekly, I'll
I'll have to admit, I miss that Game of Thrones feel. Where
you have to wait for the suspense,
and then you have like all those YouTube videos in anticipation.
Plus, who doesn't love Steve Carell? I mean,
if they have it, let's do a breakdown of it.
We will, for sure.
All right, iPhone 11. See ya.
Our new promo, Erica. Yep, y'all better be tuning in. I mean, obviously you're already tuning in. We haven't gone anywhere, but starting Monday, September 16th, we have a lot of great surprises up our sleeves, don't we, Jeff?
I always wanted a Reservoir Dog moment. You know what I mean?
Got one. You feel good about it?
I feel good about it.
All right, I love it. You've got to see this viral video. Watch as two toddlers run for each other on a sidewalk.
Oh my gosh.
This is Maxwell and Finnegan, who are inseparable, according to Maxwell's dad. It had been 2 days since they had last seen each other, and they definitely made the most of their reunion. I mean, come on. That's what we need, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever greeted you like that?
No, that's the issue. Like, just once in my life, I'm kind of running out of, you know, that's what kids, only kids can show that kind of, like, just real love.
And the kids were cute, but the dad in the back with that man bag, that's the cute. I applaud you, my buddy back there.
Yes, exactly. We love it. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
What's going on, DBL Nation? Here to talk a little bit about some of the Apple updates that came out from the Apple Live event today. Holy smokes, Kelly.
I'm excited.
iPhone 11 was the biggest thing. Now, I got to do a little research and look up some features there. Like, yeah, the Pro Max is crazy. I really want to kind of dive in a little bit more, but I'm actually going to talk about Apple Arcade this break, which is a gaming subscription service for Apple. So Google actually came out or had announced their gaming subscription service a couple months ago called Google Stadia. But essentially what it is you'll be online and you'll have a library of games. Think of like Netflix for games, and you'll be able to load that up on different Apple devices. So like your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, you'll be able to pull up these games on that. And it's only $4.99, and you get 100 plus games. I think there's going to be more released as it continues, but you're starting with a library of 100 games for $4.99. So like I said, guys, think Netflix, but for games. I mean, you get to select from a different library. Some of them are Apple exclusive. Actually, all of them are Apple exclusive, and some of them have familiar titles. Like I know Frogger and Rayman are a couple that are going to be on there, but some of them are actually developed by Apple themselves. But guys, have you been checking out the live event? Let us know what you think about it and what you're looking forward to coming from Apple, because there's a lot coming up. I mean, there's a new iWatch, there's a new iPad, a 10.2-inch screen that still attaches to the keyboard. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. So let us know, guys, down in the comments what you think about the Apple Live event. We'll see you next break. Enjoy the show.
Talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, September 10th. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. Well, we do begin with a high-profile split. Sarah Palin's husband has filed for divorce after more than 30 years of marriage. Todd Palin submitted the paperwork on Friday, citing incompatibility of temperament as a reason, adding, quote, they find it impossible to live together as husband and wife. The couple married in 1988. He was by her side when she was elected governor of Alaska, and of course, when she was a vice presidential hopeful alongside John McCain. They later went on to star in their own reality TV show on TLC. Meanwhile, just a week before this all went down, Palin was at a Kid Rock concert in Wisconsin. It appears that Todd was not there, but it does look like that she is having fun. Todd is asking for joint custody of their 11-year-old son, Trig. They have 4 other children together who are now adults. Tori, for many D.C. insiders like yourself, this is not surprising, considering that you all knew that they were not living together for quite some time. It was more for their image. But social media is having a field day with this.
Yeah, it's not, no one wants a divorce. No one can be happy about a divorce. I think it would be hypocritical of me, at least not to admit that she was the family values candidate, right? And she blocked a lot of gay and lesbians from wanting to get married, and that hurt a lot of people's lives. And now it's a bit apocryphal to see the divorce, but no one wants this. I wouldn't wish that. It's just an interesting part of the story. So I'm not bashing her in any way, but I think it's important to point out a lot of people felt bashed by her and see this as, hey, we're all human.
Right.
I wish she had thought that from the beginning.
And I think, too, what's interesting, Jeff, is, you know, they stayed together for the kids. But at some point, it came to the point where it was like too little, too late. They couldn't even stand each other. So how is that good for a marriage if you can't even be in the same home?
Well, I mean, I think it happens slowly. And I think, again, what do I always talk about? Having uncomfortable conversations. And I think when you really love somebody, if you ever love them at any point, the last gasp of a relationship, you can say the last gift I'm going to give to you is this conversation we're about to have. Where do you see this going in the next month, 6 months, 10 years? If you don't see yourself with me, or if we're gonna be having silent car rides for the next decade, let's fix this so you can. I love you enough to go find somebody. Why do we have to hold on like this to the bitter end?
Yeah,
like,
could
stop.
you live it? Could you be in a loveless marriage?
No.
So
the kids would feel it too.
Right? Don't you think Lawson and Layton would feel that?
For sure.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
I don't
It would
judge.
affect
Believe
them.
me,
Yeah,
I
it would
know
affect
that.
them.
Yeah.
But what a weird thing for a politician to lie about their family
It's so
values
weird,
and
isn't
pull
it?
the wool over America's eyes.
But I mean,
that never happens.
You get it worse when you present yourself like this. That's why Tiger Woods got taken to task. When you start saying, I sell Buicks and Tide and toothbrushes, and you get caught cheating the way he did, it's not going to be the same as if Dennis Rodman did it.
Absolutely.
When you come off like, hey, let me tell you how to run your life,
now.
you disgusting person. Here's how you stay married. Here's how you raise kids. And then your kids are now having kids before marriage and getting divorced and all the things that went on with her family. Everybody's like, wait a second, I thought you were telling. Yeah, so that's what's up.
Well, thank you for writing in DBL Nation. It seems like you all had a lot to say, kind of echoing your sentiment, Tori. Well, speaking of marriage, a shocking new claim about the failing marriage rate, the falling, is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men. The study from Cornell University says women aren't getting married because prospective husbands can't provide enough financial security. Meaning what, Tori? That they're financially stable in their own right, so they don't need a man, or they want somebody equally stable to them?
Yeah, I kind of have to take Jeff's side on this study because there's a lot of things going on to women and men not marrying. A lot of it is marriage isn't that popular anymore because of the divorce rate. People are partnering, they're having children outside of wedlock. The other thing is society doesn't value me now as a wife as it used to, right? More women than men are getting higher graduate degrees, more lawyers, more doctors, more money. So they don't need to depend on a man. I think that's great. I think we're seeing each other as equal. But I worry that this study, the cause and correlation isn't there. Because I just think people aren't really getting married. I think millennials are concerned that any financial debt you have is going to cripple me because I already have that debt.
I wonder, though, if people are looking at it more so, Jeff, as we live in a gig economy nowadays, and if I'm going to partner up with someone, I want to make sure that they can pony up, so to speak, in the sense that I look at my parents and my grandparents, they could survive off of one income.
Right.
Nowadays, you cannot buy a home on a single income. You can't. It's impossible unless you're doing incredibly well. You need that dual income.
Yeah, and times have changed. You know, it's not the way I like to live, but if I had a lot of money and I met someone who had a lot of money, why would I get married? To pay my lawyers all this fee? I mean, your odds literally are 50-50 of lasting the test of time. So I'm going to give a lot of my money to lawyers to settle this divorce, give half of my income if I'm making more, or vice versa if she's making more. I mean, the odds are against you nowadays.
Jeff,
and
it's not smart.
Jeff is making his point like you're kind of saying some weird thing. No, that makes perfect sense. Marriage, let's be honest, it's a great thing when it works. But it's a contract based on emotion. And that can't work. If I signed a contract with you for you to provide my home with candles, and the contract said, yeah, until Al's just not feeling it anymore, you would never sign that contract. But that's what marriage is. You could be perfectly happy and your partner's like, just one day, how many people?
Yeah.
Out of the blue, just at breakfast, it's just like, I'm leaving. And they're like, what? It's until they fix it where it's not a financial machete for your life, I think less people are going to get married.
Yeah, wow. Well, we have breaking news in right now from the White House. So let's head over to Kelly Schuberth with the details. Kelly.
Sam, the president just fired National Security Advisor John Bolton. Now, Bolton was the president's third national security advisor since he took office, but they apparently had disagreements over how to handle major foreign policy challenges. Now, President Trump just tweeted saying, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House." Meanwhile, John Bolton is tweeting saying he offered to resign. Sam?
Wow.
I heard they were.
It's the worst.
What?
I heard they fired him because he wouldn't shave his mustache.
The Lorax
He refused.
No,
that's what I think about that story.
And then let's hear that comparison. Is just say they're very quickly, I actually see this as somewhat of a good thing. It's his third national security advisor in 3 years, and he tends to do that. But John Bolton is the biggest hawk you could find, and that just means that he wants to go to war constantly. This is a good sign for me. I think Trump wants to move into negotiations and work with someone who's more of a dove, meaning more peaceful. Great news for the world, great news for everyone. They didn't even include him in the Camp David Taliban talks. They didn't include him in Afghanistan talks. You could tell he was on the way out.
And you're giving credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I hope he, yeah, exactly. If he goes into a dove, peaceful negotiations off of American soil, I will definitely go for you, Mr. President. Seriously.
All right.
Wow. I like my explanation better.
Yeah, I think the mustache one.
It was the mustache.
A new Monopoly game is being called categorically unfair right now. The Miss Monopoly game is billed as the first game where women make more money than men. In this version, women collect $240 every time they pass go, while men get the typical $200, and the new rules are upsetting a lot of people. One person tweets, "As a woman, I find Miss Monopoly sexist. Equality doesn't mean women make more than men." And another writes, "You can't win at something unless you get an unfair advantage. And by the way, everyone is going to resent you for it." Seems like an amazing lesson for young girls. So that's being facetious. Yeah, this feels like, ew, you don't think I can win unless I get a handout? I'm so annoyed with this game. Like, I can win without your handout. Thank you very much.
How insulting is it?
I know.
Because then if I win, which I will, I kick butt
Me
in Monopoly.
too.
You're going to say you won because you got the extra $40.
every time you pass go.
If I want equal, we want equal across the board. No
I don't
more
like
on
this.
women or men.
Yeah.
But it comes with a clause. If the men win, you get to sue us for half of it back anyway.
I was like, where's this going?
I just think how are you going to explain this to my child, whose best friend lives in our apartment building, to be like, Lawson, she gets more because of equality.
That's a good point.
He'd be like, what are you talking about?
Right. As he
that
should.
would never fly. You know what I mean? That would never fly.
I just think this is like making our kids lazier. Like, you don't need 40. You steal money when your friends get up to go to the kitchen.
Dude,
no,
why do you
don't.
say that?
How dare you? I knew.
Listen, I get a little $1.50 every time you get up.
Wow.
Dude, that's not
just small enough
That
for
is
you not to
not
notice.
okay. I do not
as long
like.
As I win. As long as I win.
And you probably asked to play banker. Do you try and play banker?
No, just I just keep feeding people wine, let them get a little distracted, and then just take that
I like to win the fairway. Thank you very much.
Fairway's boring.
Wow, you guys should have a game.
I'll kill you on Monopoly. Kill you.
Wow. Anytime.
Yep.
Anytime.
A TV news anchor is taking a stand for her right to wear what she wants. Maggie Vespa from our sister station in Portland, Oregon, was trolled online by a viewer who objected to her high-waisted pants. He told her to, quote, dress like a normal woman, and now she is striking back. First, Maggie wore high-waisted pants on 5 separate newscasts, and then she voiced her opinion on the show. Watch.
Dress how you want, look how you want. And if anyone tries to make you feel less than because of that, that's their problem, not yours. In other words, there is no one way for a normal woman to look or be. 10 years ago, if I had heard from a Jeffrey, I would have needed someone to remind me of that. Now I'm very comfortable letting it roll off my back while I wear my high-waisted pants.
What year are we in?
Dude,
She's not allowed to wear high-waisted pants?
Give me a break. They're from the sick, 40s, too. That's an old
Those
style.
are cool, like sandwich pants.
Adorable.
Sandwich bag pants. We have those pants.
Yeah, and they make my pooch go in, so I'm okay with it.
So do you think that women are more unfairly called out for their outfits than men?
I don't know. I think people are equally hated on social media. I really am. I think
women get it from women too.
Well, yes.
I think
that would be the only difference.
Women. You're
I
totally
think
right.
women's outfits are a little more outgoing. Men, I mean,
You're pretty standard.
Yeah, we wear a suit every day.
Right.
It's tough to pick on that. But when you're changing every single day and trying new things, I think you're opening up to more criticism, if that's the right term.
Oh, and they love to comment on outfits, hair,
But I
makeup,
would say this, Sam,
body.
a lot of people comment and say, you look great today, love your earrings. I've read those comments.
Oh yeah,
you guys
there's
get
a lot of
love
wonder.
too.
There's a lot of love. DBL Nation is awesome, but then there are going to be those few trolls that can't wait to pick apart your body, can't wait to pick apart. I'd rather you pick apart what I say. I'm all about let's have like a good conversation.
They do that too.
I'm okay with that.
Hold tight.
Yeah,
Give
you're
it 15
entitled to
minutes.
your opinion,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
totally.
Well, kudos to her. DBL is live. Coming up, a viral video of 2 toddlers hugging. You have to see it. Plus, new bombshells surrounding Harvey Weinstein and his downfall. We'll tell you how he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow. Then, compassion is at the forefront of today's Heart Threads. We'll show you what happened when a boy needed new shoes but didn't have enough money to pay for them. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. CBD oil over chemo, the punishment a mom and dad received for how they chose to treat their son with cancer, is causing controversy. Your comments next.
just wrote me, you guys, and she goes, Tori, are you okay? You said something nice about Trump. She said, actually, I'm proud of you for saying that about negotiations and Trump. Yeah. As Sam said so correctly, I got to call it where it is. If this guy's taken a stance, even one tippy toe into a more peaceful negotiation as a security and foreign policy, I'm okay with that. I think that's great. A lot of people upset about the revolving door. You guys get upset that he always brings people in, fires, brings people in, fires? Or is that just sort of normal?
No, I think that represents chaos. But let's speak about other administrations. What's the precedent?
He has by far had the most in and out. But that is also how he has his Trump organization. He likes new blood, he likes new conversations. Obama always said if he was the smartest guy in the room, he would find someone else to be in the room. He wanted someone smarter than him in the room. So, hey, if Trump wants someone that he can trust, the news is they went to Afghanistan and they had talks about Afghanistan in the Situation Room. And as they were leaving, the copy of the draft that went to John Bolton, who it should have gone to, was taken away from him. They didn't trust that he would take it out of the Situation Room and not do something with it. So there's some real trust issues, and you don't want...
What did they think he was
going to blow up the talks. He doesn't want negotiations.
And you think he would do something nefarious in order to sabotage?
Yes, and I think he was out of the Camp David. He's out of the Kim Jong-un talks. They didn't inform him. There's a reason, and you've got to have trust. One of my first prom date's father was the National Security Advisor, and he really, really had to have like the most trust, because if you're going to bomb someone, it was during Clinton. Okay. And when you're going to bomb someone, you look to that person to say, civilians are about to die. What do you think? And if you think that person is too hawkish, like I do, good for Trump. Good for Trump. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you were dating during Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Are you still in uterus?
Were you in uterus?
Still in the uterus?
I was in my toddler Pampers. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, a Florida couple choosing alternative medicine over chemotherapy lost custody of their 4-year-old with leukemia. Joshua McAdams and Taylor Bland-Ball were forced to give up custody of their son Noah after they ended his chemotherapy because of adverse reactions. Instead, they turned to alternative medicine, including CBD oils, fresh foods, alkaline water, etc. Although they are now agreeing to chemotherapy, the judge is not backing down due to, quote, the substantial risk of neglect. So DBL Nation, should these parents have custody of their son, and were they being neglectful? Take it away, Al. This is tough. A heart-wrenching story.
This is one of the toughest ones we've ever had. Karen from Facebook says, these weren't hippies, and that's in air quotes, who just disagreed with modern medicine. They were just seeking out alternative options for their son. Karen, I agree with you. I don't think the word neglect is applicable in this situation. This seems like it's hard for people, especially doctors, and just people in general, to say, I don't know. I don't know what the best choice is. I don't know. All I know is that my kid is suffering, and I don't know what to do. We've tried this hasn't worked. We've tried this isn't really working. So I think these are parents that are just going with their gut and doing what they think is best. And I don't know if they should have their kid taken from them for that. But at the same time, the kid, I guess, needs chemo. But what do I know?
Well, that's Fifth Host. Heather from Facebook says, excuse me, there's no scientific evidence that homeopathic treatments work. Their child deserves more. I'm going to start by saying I feel a lot of empathy for these parents, but there's a law that says that if you're in Florida and you have neglect for medical reasons for your child, the state can step in. Not only did they leave chemotherapy in the middle of a session, they dropped their cell phones, ripped out their son's PICC line, evaded law enforcement, and the lawyer said they didn't feel like they were ever going to come back unless it was changing it to custody to the grandmother. At some point, that minor needs an advocate too, and needs a voice. He had a 95% chance of success with chemo and 0 from the doctors. I understand there's other alternatives. They could have done both. If you think you're going to let this kid die, that's an endangerment to the child.
But what if the parents, because the doctor doesn't go home with the parents.
Agreed.
The parents were seeing that their child was having really adverse reactions, very violent, very violently ill, acting out, screaming in pain. So I can't imagine as a parent witnessing that. So maybe they thought they were advocating on behalf of their child. Does their child deserve to be ripped from their arms at the very time?
PICC line deserve to be ripped out of his chest? But no, talk to your doctor about
But they did end up talking to their doctor, and they did agree to doing chemotherapy.
After they left the state, and the lawyer said the judge felt no real reason
but
that they
maybe
would
they
actually
thought they
come
were
back.
saving their child. I just think this isn't an extreme case. I don't think this is black and white. I think this is much more nuanced.
But if a child's about to die, I don't think of a more extreme case could be. If the judge feels that kid is going to die and he hasn't a voice to say, I want alternative or I want chemo, you got to stand up for the kid.
I just don't want to pass judgment on these parents.
I hear
can't imagine.
Sam. I do. I hear that.
Janelle from Facebook says, my granddaughter has battled cancer twice. Chemotherapy is hell, and no one should judge what parents decide to do until you have been there. Keep an open mind. Janelle, I have nothing to say. Knock on wood, I'm sorry for what you have gone through and continue to go through. I hope your granddaughter's fine, and you said it perfectly to me.
And the last comment is...
Angela.
Okay, Angela from Facebook says, chemo saved my life. Without it, I would have died 5 years ago. Listen, of course, chemo has saved many people's lives. I just want people to not rush to judgment and understand that there clearly is two sides to the story. And this family is going through hell right now, and I don't think they need all of us weighing in. That's just where I'm coming from. Thank you for writing in, though, DBL Nation. We love hearing from you. Coming up on DBL, caught on camera, a driver fast asleep inside a self-driving Tesla. But that's not even the scariest part. And watch what happens when a perfect stranger overhears a boy's dilemma when he wanted new shoes but couldn't afford them. Heart Threads is next.
A lot of controversy over this, and trust me, for someone who is a mom with a disease, I feel empathy. But as Happy DD wrote, chemo, because of the horrific side effects of today's drugs, it's got to be gut-wrenching to watch your child suffer. We have to put ourselves in their shoes. Yes, but you also have to put yourselves in that child's shoes, and that child has no one advocating for them to save their life. I strongly feel that Florida has a right to protect minors in this situation. Now, if you're over 18 and you want to do cancer and solve cancer with anything, CBD, which I know a lot of things have worked, fine, that's great. But you don't get to make that choice for your kid who doesn't have an advocate speaking up for them and might die. So I do hear you guys. I just think at some point, I want us to look at the kid too, because although the parents might be trying to do the right thing, they evaded law enforcement, they ripped his PICC line out, they left their cell phones and ran out of a chemotherapy session. That's not good for a child. That's not good no matter what you think. So Michael says, the chemo pumped in me for 2 years is now a biohazard and no longer approved for human use. In other fields, we call them bioweapons. At the end of the day, it will save his life, says Karen. Then yes, he has to have the treatment. They were just distraught. And then Naomi says, that must have been scary for the nurses and staff to see. The whole thing is terrifying for everyone, and no one I can't even imagine what they're going through. But at some point, if you're trying to do something that endangers your child by leaving them with dangerous people or doing something else, the state has a right to come in and say something, I believe. And there's a law for that. So we have an interesting... Stacey Payne, as a mother of a son that had Ami when he was 13 months old, it's so hard to watch your kids suffer. You do whatever you can to help them. I agree, but I want to help them live. But I do hear you guys. It's not an easy thing, but in the end, you got to make a line on the law. Stand up for that kid or feel for the parents. And at some point, no one's speaking up for the kid. So let me know your thoughts.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a stranger who stepped in to help a family in need. Watch how a simple gift of shoes made a huge difference. This man's random act of kindness for a kid went viral. 11-year-old Zach and his mom were shopping for some new shoes.
I had the same shoes for about 9 months, and the bottom of them were destroyed.
Zach's mom told him that they could only spend $20. Lito Mason overheard their conversation.
I asked him, what type of shoes do you like? And he said, I just want something that's comfortable. I was done. At that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna get him whatever he wants.
Lito bought Zach a pair of shoes, and Zach's grateful mom asked to take a picture. She posted about Lito's kindness on social media, and it went viral.
As Lito went to pay for everything, we walked outside, and Zachary was like, Mom, I can't believe he helped us. He just helped us. It's like an angel, Mom.
Despite the outpouring of praise, Lito has remained humble.
Just something that I wanted to do. For one time in his life, I didn't want him to worry about a price. And it was simple as that.
Kindness. It's as simple as that. We'll be right back.
Are we good, John? Hey guys, are we live? Sorry, Al just tried to pass a soda or LaCroix to John and it spilled and it shook. He didn't catch it, so it's going to be all fizzy now. It's a big moment here. All right, Jill Miller writes us on Facebook, I'm watching the show for the first time. I happened to watch your show. I don't know if I've ever heard of it, but I certainly like what I see. There's so much negativity in our world. It's refreshing to see true discussions, true sharing of thoughts in such a manner. The kid with chemo and the Neosporin comment, your response was kind and thoughtful, even though not everyone agreed with it. The man buying the kid's shoes, so you don't have to worry. Simply being kind is not random, it's intentional, it's decision. I think if we could do 3 kind acts with purpose each day, just think of how we would all change. Jill Miller, you just put a little halo on your head. Thank you, love. That is so sweet. I am going to take that and pass it forward. And if I go to Starbucks today, which I always do, I'm going to pay for the person behind me as one of my first acts of kindness today. That really inspired me. We hope that this show is not people yelling at each other. I think it's about feeling passionate, but also hearing each other. I can't wait for season 3, guys. We've really upped our game, and wait till you see our new co-host at 10:30 and 11:30. She is conservative, strong Republican, strong financial, fiscally conservative, and really likes Trump. So it's going to be just an amazing show because now we have everybody's voice included, which we want. So I'm so excited that you watched for the first time. I hope you'll stay. And Jill, keep writing us in. If you haven't commented ever, I don't bite. I just want to talk to you and say hi. Maybe do a little dance. Make a little, no, wait, I shouldn't say that song. All right, so we wish you luck, and let me know what kindness acts you're doing today from Jill. I'm going to pay for the people behind me at Starbucks. That's going to be my first one. Travis, what are you going to do today? Hold on. What's your nice kindness thing today?
I am going to cook dinner for everybody in my house, have some friends over, so.
What are you cooking?
I don't know. Something good. Tacos. It's Taco Tuesday!
I like that. I also have trivia night, guys. Trivia Newton-John is our name. Al thinks that's boring and boos me. I don't know why educating myself would be a boo thing. All right, let me know what you guys think. And Jill, awesome. Welcome to the club. Enjoy the show. Bye, guys.
They say if you get the job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
And we love that at DBL. We get to tell it like it is, even if things get a little heated.
And since we're always live, you'll always see us 100% real.
But it's not just about what we think. We want your opinions on what's happening in our world.
Because we wouldn't want to do this without you.
So come on in and join the conversation. And we guarantee on DBL, we're never going to hold back.
Because we talk about what you're talking about.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I'm Sam. Let's get right to it. Let me tell you, listen, we are live 6 times a day. We haven't gone anywhere like some talk shows over the summer.
Yes.
But starting on Monday, we got a lot of surprises up our sleeves, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
You don't have sleeves on, though. So that kind of...
I have sleeves. These are sleeves.
Yeah, but you
She's
went down bare forearm, and it just...
These are sleeves, and I was alluding to Jeff, but okay.
I pretty much think everything's going to stay the same.
Our dynamic will stay the same.
Yes.
Yes, it will. But we do have some really cool things coming up. So make sure you continue to watch, especially
Check
starting
your sleeves.
on Monday. I can't. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Explosive new claims in a book all about Harvey Weinstein's downfall. How he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow for his dirty deeds. Then, asleep at the wheel. It's the video going viral of a driver snoozing in a Tesla. But that's not even the worst part. And from sea to shining sea, we've got the list of happiest and unhappiest states. Some might surprise you when DBL comes back.
God, you guys are so hot, I'm nervous. Okay, hi guys, I've been staring at you for 5 minutes. All right, here we go. I'm starting to waste your time. Emma, Olivia, welcome to Daily Blast Live. First things first, let's talk dogs. Now, Olivia, you have 2 dogs, Sir Chancelot and Frankie, but Sir Chancelot has 35,000 followers. So do you have a game plan for a chance to overtake Selena Gomez's 152 million followers?
We were talking about this yesterday. Right, he's an influencer for sure. But he's also bringing attention to shelter dogs. Like, yes, that's with the Shelter Pet Project, because both Chance and Frankie are rescues. Also Stella's a rescue as well.
Yes, Stella.
And so we did this great campaign for the Humane Society and Maddie's Fund to get people to rescue from the shelter more. They went from the shelter in the streets to just billboards around the country and in Times Square. It's just the cutest thing.
Well, now onto the show, The Road.
Can I tell you a secret?
Hello? Someone is going to attack me and wipe my memory. If you're watching this, it's already too late.
I've noticed a trend, ladies, in Hollywood about action spy thrillers. All the main characters are turning out to be women lately. I think women make way better spies. We're more intuitive. Tell me what you guys think about women making better spies than the fellas.
Right before we shot The Rook, I had done another show where I played a CIA operative. And I had learned from all of my conversations with ex-CIA people that the women were, one, most likely the better snipers within the CIA, and they're just a better shot. And also they were just better because they could be more inconspicuous. They were more intuitive. They could understand both men and women so much better than just just their own sex. I don't think this women having lead characters in these spy dramas is a trend. I think it's here to stay.
Emma, you are known for playing these gritty, little rough around the edges characters. Is your The Rook character the same? And do people have totally misconceived ideas about you because you...
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, we are learning new details about what brought down Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. The book called She Said is out today. The New York Times reporters who broke the story wrote it. And we learn Gwyneth Paltrow played a big role in the investigation. She was one of the first people to speak out. Gwyneth became aware that Weinstein would use her name to get other women to do what he wanted. He would say things like, "Don't you want what she has?" More than 80 women have accused Weinstein of inappropriate sexual behavior. He has denied any non-consensual acts and has pleaded not guilty to sexual assault charges. Tori, his trial starts in January. I'm counting down the days because I just want to see him locked behind bars, even though these are allegations. But with Gwyneth Paltrow, so number one, he used her name as like a grooming tool. Number two, he insinuated that she only got to where she is because she had sex with him.
Yeah, it's a triple takedown, to be honest. Look, I dislike Gwyneth Paltrow a lot, and I absolutely call her wonderful for this. I got to call it where it is needed. Credit is given. She did it behind the scenes. She didn't want her name used in a sexual assault as a dangling carrot, as she should have. And I know she asked Brad Pitt to go speak with him, Harvey Weinstein, and say, don't do this to Gwyneth. So, hey, I can have my differences with Gwyneth and Goop, but for women in general, good on you for speaking out and saying, my name will not be part of this. It's a great move.
Apparently, she also feared that she would have not worked again in Hollywood. This was a very powerful man.
Yeah, Shakespeare in Love made her, right?
Right.
The Oscar, it made her. So that was all Weinstein.
If she, and believe me, this is not me throwing stones at all, because I do not envy her position and I give her credit for coming forward. But if she knew about this back when she was dating Brad Pitt, why wouldn't she have said something earlier?
Maybe
Publicly.
her career.
Yeah.
Her career. This guy was arguably the most powerful person in Hollywood. And why would you do something to upset your career? You're hanging out with Brad Pitt. You got an Oscar. Why would you upset that? Even though you know today that it's the right thing to do. I applaud her as well for coming out like this, but I don't think she had a choice. To tie your name in with Harvey Weinstein at this point in your career and say, I did not do those things that these other women allege that he did. I don't want my name tied up. I made my own path, even though I do have some famous parents, but I made my own path.
That's true. Let's be honest. Yeah. Hollywood royalty there. Let's be honest.
It's scary, but it makes sense in terms of, like, we're talking about Harvey Weinstein, we're talking about Hollywood, and we throw terms around, and I think people just see the big names. They see Gwyneth Paltrow, but I think this is everywhere.
Yes,
anytime there's a power dynamic where there's one person that's in control of what people make, where as far as people can go, where their careers will ascend to, I guarantee you we will find this 7 times out of 10, because human beings are fallible, and when you start giving us too much power, we start to act like this. When I say we, I mean men and women. It doesn't matter who you are.
That's why the Me Too movement tentacles out into every single industry, not just Hollywood. So point well taken.
There has to be checks and balances on people's power.
Absolutely. We are switching gears to celebrate a cancer survivor. Alex Trebek just started the new season of Jeopardy! Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment. Raquel.
That's right, Sam. Alex Trebek is back in action after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He kicked off the new season last night.
Jeopardy! Begins its 36th season on the air, and I'm happy to report I'm still here. Our champion, Jason, thank you.
Well, over the summer, he completed chemotherapy and celebrated his 79th birthday.
Thank you, Raquel.
Wow, what an inspiration. And that he took perhaps a half a second away from that show and what it stands for, and the contestants that were so excited about the show to talk about himself, 1/2 second and move on back to business.
Yeah,
shows what kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he doesn't want the attention. He just wants he appreciates the support, but you're right. He even said that he developed that very monotone delivery because he did not want his delivery to take away from the contestants in their spotlight. So
and continues to do so.
He really is.
Who's a good guy for 3,000? Alex Trebek.
Whoa.
Cool.
You lost confidence in that halfway through that sentence.
Perhaps before you said it, so maybe you should listen to that little filter.
Yeah, okay.
I like the tour.
Okay. A teenager at a high school swim meet with a wedgie is creating controversy. She won the 100-meter race but was disqualified because the school issued swimsuit began riding up her bottom. This is the standard for swimsuit coverage on female swimmers. A swim coach is coming to her defense, saying she's a curvy, non-white athlete and she's the only one who walked away with a uniform violation, and that most adult suits break the modesty rule. This is infuriating.
You're the swimmer. Take it away.
Okay, so someone that did swim her entire life, swam as a Division I world-ranked swimmer. This happened to me constantly. This happens to, and I'm sure it would happen more to curvy girls. So she definitely got pinpointed for this one and penalized for it. And shame on the woman that cited her, because when you're swimming, when you dive in, or if you're doing backstroke and you dive in, I would say 3 out of 5 times, there's me diving in doing backstroke. Whoa. 3 out of 5 times, your suit rides up, and it's embarrassing. But what are you going to do? You're going to pull it out? No, you're not going to risk anything to take away from your time. You work your butt off, no pun intended, to get the fastest time possible, and you do not want to even think about that.
You're not even in there, that mindset.
So to think an adult made a scene of this when A, this is common, and B, like pinpointing her out, like what's the motive here really?
We don't like women. as a society.
I wouldn't go that far.
Jeff, think about this. Do male track guys get this?
I was gonna say,
a lot of them have very short shorts.
What about
There's
male wrestlers?
There's a huge bulge in front. No one mentions that. But beach volleyball women get it. Serena's been getting it when she had blood clots and was wearing a suit so she wouldn't die because she'd almost died giving childbirth. She got in trouble with the.
She had a violation.
Right. It's us, and it's a weird thing. But people want to control women, what they wear, how they dress, how they look.
Or to shame
Men's
them.
uniforms do not. Baseball uniforms in the 70s, men's basketball shorts in the 80s.
The basketball shorts, you could see everything.
Yes,
The soul of the man.
and like not that there was shows like this, but you don't hear about this with men's outfits.
Well, here, Steve Gallagher, our audio guy, wrote this to me, like, because we talked about it last show, and he grew up in Anchorage, Alaska from 1970 to 89. He goes on to say how tight-knit Alaskans are, and he said, all my Facebook friends have been posting this, and they are all appalled. Just like the rest of the lower 48, as Alaskans would call it, there's always going to be that one person.
So
you're drumming up like all men don't like women. I mean, that's not fair to say.
This is one person.
This is one person, and he says there's always going to be that one person.
And what I don't like about this one person, and thank you, Steve Gallagher, for weighing in, this one person, Tori, shamed her, saying that she asked for it, meaning she purposely put it there because she wanted to get attention. So that's taking it to a whole nother level. You're not only saying that this was a mishap, you're saying that this girl did it for attention.
Do you remember the black doctor that was getting on a flight that had to put a towel around her waist?
Right, and embarrass her. How embarrassing would this be, right? You're the only curvy girl, you get out, and then you win, and then you're told you can't.
And the only girl of color.
That's crazy.
Wow, so she definitely, in my opinion, was targeted, and I just hope that that she just continues to kill it, because she is. She's a really fast swimmer. Well, here we go again. Another driver asleep at the wheel of a self-driving Tesla. Oh gosh, this was on a Massachusetts highway, and the passenger is also asleep. The person who took this video tried honking his horn to wake them up, but it didn't work. So we're seeing a lot of this with Tesla, but we have somebody that works right here at DBL that drives a Tesla. She says it's impossible. Right. As soon as your hands aren't heavy on the wheel, it will alert you, it will shake, alarms will go off. So she thinks people are doing this strictly for views.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't back that up, like how
Just
you would
one
fake
opinion.
this video.
Yep.
Right. But my brother got a Tesla, and I was in it this weekend. I was back home visiting, and he was telling me, like, how does this work, So he says you can't really do it on open roads, like side streets, because there isn't a double lane. So if you're on a double lane, like highway like this, the car will automatically stop for someone coming, or speed up if someone's coming behind you or forward. So this is how they do this on the open road.
Wow.
You can't do this like on normal suburban side streets.
It's only on
because
like highways.
it doesn't recognize stop sign or stoplights. So if you're the first one going through that intersection and you're asleep, it's going to keep going. So it only will stop if there's a car in front of you.
So if it doesn't recognize a stop sign or a stoplight, could it recognize like a deer running across the road?
Maybe because they're sensors.
There's a sensor.
Could it react?
The Tesla.
When I was constructing them, no, they couldn't. But now I think
Jeff, let's get into.
You seem like an expert for some reason. You did ride in one a couple days ago. So
it's like driving a computer, though.
It's on this show, yes.
Yes, they're the only cars that you cannot beat them in a drag race. Not that you should be racing, but they accelerate too quickly.
The pickup's crazy.
Yeah, there's a computer. They don't need to.
Teslas? What do they go 0 to 60?
They can beat any car, like especially
a Ferrari.
Yes, any car that's got a combustible engine. A Tesla. Yes, you can. Do you want to know? Steve, our beloved Steve from Anchorage, who just chimed in on the last story, said 2.5 seconds. 0 to 60.
I love that Steve Gallagher
Steve's part of the show.
He 100% is part of the show, but he's also a man of facts. A lot of
He
facts.
also told me how to nail on my tire yesterday.
Well,
Steve is like our guy.
What?
Yeah.
Let me give you a stupid fact, because I thought this was the most interesting. So when you're parked, you know what I mean, and you're waiting for somebody, you could put on like games and do driving games on your board with your steering wheel while you're waiting.
What do you mean?
So
You can use it as a.
so this is like the iPad in a Tesla, So while
Like I
you're doing
could
it,
play like Mario Kart?
yeah, you play
with your wheel?
you play like
What?
a racing game, like Mario Kart, and you
That's
use
so
your wheel.
cool.
But how smart they are is that it just goes, and all you could use is your brake pedal. So you're not hitting the gas just in case something happened. Your car's off, but you only use the brake and your regular wheel on here. It's
God forbid we have to wait 1 minute for a parking spot.
No. I'm saying if you're waiting for somebody to come out, they're having Netflix on there next month.
Netflix on there?
Dude,
Yeah.
I can live in a Tesla.
I'm just gonna buy a Tesla instead of a house.
I don't need a house.
Live in the Tesla. Sleep in it, why not? Coming up on DBL, breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. We've got great tips in our dollars and cents and the all-new list of the country's happiest and unhappiest states. Some of them might surprise you. Stay tuned.
They commented, said, this is a hoax. Every 30 seconds, like Sam said, it'll flash something if your hands aren't on the wheel, and then beep and shake. But those two people, if you look like they took full-on sleeping pills. They were like out. He was out.
It looks too dramatic to me.
You think it's a hoax?
I think they're just pranking people.
Interesting.
Like, oh, we're about to drive past somebody. Let's
pretend
do
to be
it.
sleeping.
Yeah.
What if you needed to take an exit? Now remember, someone also did a Tesla stopped and crashed when a car tried to get into the next lane, and it didn't stop in time. So it's not perfect.
Remember, there was another Tesla that there was a sunspot, and so it ended up going underneath a truck. Oh my God. And the person got decapitated. Oh my God. So there's room for error, people. Scary, very scary. I would never be confident falling asleep in a car.
No. I don't think it is.
This is Happiest States coming up next.
So they said, someone just wrote us, it says it's 1.9 seconds. Released in 2020, Tesla Roadster will go from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds.
Yeah, my brother, when he pressed the gas, like turning out, he goes, watch this, and he pressed the gas, and your stomach is like, oh, you're on a roller coaster for like you know that feeling that you get?
Where you go,
it goes, no, not that one, the one like where you go real fast.
Oh, where it kind of pushes you back?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We weren't going down a hill.
Yeah, I was like, where was the gravity, though? Sometimes with math and physics, go to him, not me.
Yeah, you are. You're like a block of cheese.
Welcome back to DBL. Want to live a happier life? Ever consider packing up and moving? Wallet Hub just revealed the happiest states in the U.S. It's ranked by emotional and physical health, along with work and natural environments. Before we reveal the top 5 happiest states, Tori, you have any guesses?
I think that states with good sports teams are happier because I feel like it's a community made. I'm serious.
So then give us a state.
Like,
who?
Chicago or Illinois.
Illinois.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you think Illinois.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. Well, the 5th happiest state, Jersey.
Oh,
Number 4, California. Snagging the 3rd, Minnesota.
What?
Rounding out 2nd is Utah. And Tori, congrats to the Aloha State. Hawaii is ranked number 1.
All those great pro sports teams in Hawaii.
It was a theory. It didn't work.
I would love to live in Hawaii. He thinks I'd get island fever.
I think,
I don't think I would. I'd be
Carnival,
surfing.
so I used to go to the islands all the time, like all the Caribbean islands, and it's a small population. You start to people say Denver is small, and Denver's got 4.
But you can go island to island. You can try
Hawaii's not that small.
Hawaii's pretty. How many people live there? 200,000?
You have, I don't know.
Way more. Can somebody please give me, Steve Gallagher, a statistic on how many people live in Hawaii? 1.4 million.
That's not a lot. That's not that big.
Like 6 times more than he gets.
Way more.
Yeah, it was a bad guess, but I mean Manhattan's got what, 7 million just on that one island?
It's closer to 11 now.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's like
It's climbing,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, still,
Right,
I think
so I was right.
1.4 million is a lot of people.
Not if
You're not going to get to know all
I like
of
this
them
argument next
Yeah,
to
but some of them are
Okay.
2 years old and some of them are 92 years old, Sam.
Yeah,
the
but you're
people
not
that you're
going
going
to
to
get
be
to know
talking to.
1.4 million people, Al. Before we check out the least happiest states, anyone want to guess what states rounded out the bottom 5? So we already know, Tori, so we're going to ask you that. So don't look at, you see the first one. So what do you think? What's the worst state to live in?
Me?
Yes, you.
I think education is a big thing, and I think maybe like
I don't know.
Guess.
Like Alabama?
Okay, Alabama. All right. So ranked 46
Just offended two states.
I know.
Ranked 46th in the U.S. is Louisiana. The 47th happiest state in the U.S. is Mississippi. Then Alaska at 48. Second to last is Arkansas. And finally, the least happiest state, according to Wallet Hub, is West Virginia.
Well, you know, that's not their fault. Opioids, really, the big pharma spread a gazillion opioids into specifically West Virginia, the state they got the most in. So they are just downtrodden.
And actually, West Virginia is really beautiful. I performed there at Huntington a bunch of times. Actually, Huntington, West Virginia, that's where they filmed We Are Marshall. And I don't know if they've changed it, but they left the movie set, so like their downtown still looks like the 1950s.
That is cool.
It's really cool, yeah. It's a really cool
Why
place.
did they leave the movie set? That's so odd.
Just because they were proud of the movie and...
They just leave it there?
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a functional place.
Isn't that like dumping?
No, it's just because they had to redo the town to make it look like, I think Mark lives in the early 60s, so it still kind of looks like that.
The town permanently looks like We Are Marshall?
Yes, well,
I don't know about that.
I thought it's really cool.
I don't know about that.
I've been there like 15 times.
I don't know if I would like that.
You don't
I would
think so?
want my town to look like my town, not a movie.
So you want it to look like every other town? I think it's cool when you stand out a little bit.
Yeah, okay. We'll be right back.
What's up, Beauty Blast? I'm Jordin for the Slay, and today we're talking a little beauty tea gossip. Now, a lot has been going on in the beauty world lately, but one new collaboration is setting a new record for everybody, all right? Drybar and IT Cosmetics has collabed together for a brand new product launch coming August 1st. Now, can you guess what it is? Now, let's think about this. They're both cosmetic companies. Drybar does hair, IT Cosmetics does skin and makeup. What could they do in common? Oh yeah, lashes! Lashes have hair, right? And we use them in makeup as well, so it kind of makes sense. Guess what? It is a mascara that they're making for us guys. This mascara looks like it's out of this world, and it actually combines two great features from both companies. Now, IT Cosmetics came into play and actually gave those great killer ingredients that it's so well known for. Biotin, collagen, and hyaluronic acid too, all to help hydrate and lift those beautiful lashes and keep them looking pretty. Drybar came in and said, let's make it look just like what everyone wants. Let's give them what they want, let's say that. Volume, guys. They actually took the idea from their volume-based hair products and they actually created this little mascara brush that looks just like their round brush. Crazy, right? Now, it even went as far as to having little yellow balls on the tips of the brush to actually separate and define the lashes, which I was like, okay, y'all might be trying it a little bit too much. Now, with this mascara, it actually is going to be having an amazing finish and it's supposed to give you that beautiful lift and curl. So we're gonna try it out and see just how it does very soon here. Now, it launches on August 1st, so hopefully we get it once it gets into a retail store right away. So, for more beauty gossip, make sure you check out more Beauty Blast and check out my social media platforms at Jordin for the Slay. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio. Now, we've heard the term living paycheck to paycheck. If you feel financially stuck, there's a way to break that cycle, and we're sharing tips on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. Now, Felicia, finances are tough, even harder when you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. What are some tips to help everyone break that cycle?
You know, this paycheck to paycheck cycle strikes a lot of Americans, like almost 70% to be exact. So what we're going to do, we're just going to break down 3 easy things so that you can kind of start getting out of this cycle. So the first thing you want to do is track your expenses. So you want to make sure you document your spending from the last 4 to 6 weeks, because we need to know exactly where your money is going and actually what is coming in at the same time.
So when you say track your expenses, do you mean your spouse's expenses?
Everybody's expenses, yes.
Good tip.
Everybody's expenses. And then also we're going to focus on fixed expenses. Now, the rule of thumb is that your fixed expenses should be 30% or less than your monthly income. So we want to make sure we're looking at everything, because we want to make sure we're not really living a lifestyle that we can't afford.
Outside our means.
Yes, so
right.
You want to make sure we take care of that. Now, the next thing you want to do is put your savings on autopilot. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, we always forget about savings.
Right.
And you know what? That's when emergencies pop up. So you want to pay yourself first. No matter what you do, pay yourself first. auto draft features. I love auto draft with the bank. Auto draft your money into general savings, vacation savings if you want to go on vacation, emergency funds, 401ks. Just put that auto draft to work and pay yourself first so that we can at least have some money.
Right, because then you forget about it.
Yes,
that's what I have. It takes away from my checking account into my savings account each month.
And then we can go back and look at those expenses. And then the final thing we need to do is understand wants versus needs. Now this is a hard one because sometimes we want things that we don't really need. So when we do wants versus needs, this is a quick way to prioritize your expenses. And I like to just write down on a sheet of paper or ask myself, do I really want this or do I need this?
Right.
So we want to make sure we just do this exercise on a regular basis. And then also give your money a why. Most of the time we just spend money just because it's, you know, just fun to spend it. But if you give it a why, like, you know, for your kids, for, you know, if you want to leave a legacy, leave money behind, donate it, just give your money a why, and it'll really help you focus and get out of this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle.
I love that. And I love the want versus need, because sometimes I just want something to want it, and I wait 2 weeks to see if I really want it. Turns out I didn't want it as bad as I
sometimes
I
we just buy things because we want it right then and there. So yeah, give yourself time.
I like it. I like it. But treat yourself.
Yes, treat yourself.
All right, thank you so much, Felicia. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Good Hair.
Guys, I'm going to ask you for a favor. I'm looking for jeans. I took a picture of myself gardening, and I'm going to just tell you what it was like. The back fat was out.
We need the picture.
Okay, hold on. The butt was flat and wrinkly, and then the stomach gooch was out, and it is unacceptable. Only because here it is. I don't know if you guys can see. I mean, that is not okay. So I am thinking of the new Spanx, which I'm going to try from Kim, the Skims. She's made it in all different colors and sizes, and I'm going to try that. But jeans, people, I need some high-waisted jeans. My waist, it just goes down, and I look like an apple. So if anyone out there, high-waisted jeans that you feel comfortable in, I don't mind that 70s boot cut look. That's sort of what I'm going for. So I'm really crowdsourcing here for some good jeans that look, feel good. Gap, AG, Page.
Wait, what kind of jeans do you want? Boot cut?
High-waist boot cut.
You don't want boot cut.
I thought that is a $219.99.
I think you want flare. You want wide leg? Yeah.
No, I don't want like huge.
No,
just a flare.
But just a flare. You want like a wide,
just a slight flare? Just a flare.
Liza's here.
Do you guys want to know Liza's here? This is Bert's daughter. So Liza's helping me talk about what jeans and Spanx and things to get, but again, I don't want the boot cut, but a flare.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
And I want a dark color. You don't want boot cut.
No, it's too like $19.99.
Exactly.
So I need dark color.
I told her that she should look at Good American and Madewell. Madewell more reasonably priced.
Madewell is reasonably priced.
And they make for curvy, they make high-waisted, they make skinny, they make it all.
Because what I have is the pooch here, then it goes down, then the butt fat.
You don't have a pooch.
I do, and I love it.
You are shaped like a woman.
Thank you.
You don't have a pooch. You're shaped by a woman.
That was so profound.
It's true though.
Oh, man, thank you.
It's true. We all don't look like designers.
We can't. She's amazing. But let me know what you guys think for jeans that are flattering. I maybe want to tuck in a shirt, little sunglasses, casual but looking good.
So we're putting together the outfit that you don't own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Please give me my invisible hypothetical outfit. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, look at these jeans, Victoria. Show me your
Oh, snap, our new promo.
That's as cool as 40-year-olds can look.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We did it. I'll take
I
it.
feel really cool in that. I do.
You know what Jeff said? He goes, he wishes I had slow-mo just tripped.
That would totally be on brand.
Right?
Completely be on brand. But make sure you guys tune in September 16th. Of course, we haven't gone anywhere all summer like some of the other talk shows, but we do have a lot of cool, shots fired. You better believe it, Brandon London. But we do have a lot of cool surprises coming up, so stay tuned. We also have a new co-host joining us on some of the hours. You guys, Lindsay Granger, you're gonna love her. She is spirited. She is not afraid to debate us.
She's gonna come at me. It's gonna be good.
I know, because she's very conservative.
And she's cleaning her desk off as we come over.
There she is!
She's ready. She wasn't eating this time.
Yeah, she is absolutely ready to join the team, and so I can't wait, because that's what makes the show great, is we all have different opinions, we all have different backgrounds, and I think we want all that reflected for the audience.
Absolutely.
I have a really
I thought you wanted to get this life story.
Oh, do we want to get this last story?
No, we don't.
Oh. Okay, real quick. Jill Miller had never watched our show, just tuned in, said, there's so much negativity. It's so refreshing to see true discussions, true sharings of thought in such a manner. So it's really good to hear new people are finding us.
Tell Joe we'll be negative tomorrow. Tune in.
No.
That was saying that was a joke, so you didn't answer it seriously.
Shut down the studio.
I know. Everyone's like,
Everyone
don't say that.
Gas.
We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Be judicious about the images we release to the world.
Absolutely. The correct image can sway opinion.
Chris Maloney, welcome to Daily Blast Live. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's talk about your role in season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my love. This is Polly, who obviously has forgotten how to knock. Blessed evening, Polly.
I want to know this, and a lot of our people have asked this to ask you. How do you prepare to shoot such intense scenes? And more importantly, how does the cast, including you, decompress from all of that?
Whatever role you take on, you know, at least for me, I see what the layout is, the world you're living in, and then you just get down to personals. You make the world smaller. You make him as human as possible, and with whatever interesting quirks come to you. That's kind of the creative sauce, I guess.
Here's to your bright future. Perhaps here in D.C. Posting in D.C. would be an honor, sir.
Tell us your favorite part of working on Handmaid's Tale. What was your absolute favorite part that you'll take away with you?
I just love how they shoot the show.
Nice.
I love it. I find it one of the more cinematic shows on television. So I just was really kind of curious about, you know, whatever their theories, or, you know, something is, what's the lens and why the lens, and what kind of special filters they put, you know, just the kind of geeky stuff that I'm still just learning myself, but I found really very interesting.
You're a nerd.
That's what
It's the best. It's just like me. That's exactly right. It's amazing.
I'm a nerd, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I watch every season. A lot of our DBL Nation watches, so we cannot wait to see you in this season in Handmaid's Tale, and we really, really appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, September 10th. I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. I'm Jeff. Let's jump right in, guys. We begin with a high-profile split. Sarah Palin's husband has filed for divorce after more than 30 years of marriage. Todd Palin submitted the paperwork on Friday, citing incapability of temperament as a reason, adding they find it impossible to live together as husband and wife. The couple married in 1988. Meanwhile, just a week before this all went down, Palin was at a Kid Rock concert in Wisconsin, and it doesn't appear she was with Todd, but it does appear like she was having a good time.
Amazing time.
Right? Good for her.
Good for her. Look, in D.C. it's well known. Todd and Sarah Palin really didn't get along for a long time. Even during the election, they weren't. But you could see tension between them.
Yeah.
Right. That was very visible.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they haven't lived together for a long time, and it's just incompatible. And that's great. And I'm glad that they're separating for each of them. But it's hard for me to omit the hypocrisy of telling men who loved men and women who loved women that they don't have family values, and then you get divorced. I'm not saying divorce is a bad family value. I'm saying she should have realized we're all human. And so it's a little bit of a mark on her, and a lot of people are calling her out. I'm not trying to bash her. It's a little ironic, unfortunately, that she tried to make some people say you don't have family values.
I don't know if you can call it a little
diplomatic.
Yeah, that was very diplomatic.
I'm trying to be a little kinder.
Can you call it a little mark when her entire identity and how she's made millions of dollars is based on these family values, and then she comes through with none of them?
Well, check out this tweet, Al. Tell me what you think about this. This is a really quick tweet, and I just want to know. Family values candidate Sarah Palin is getting divorced, and I can see irony from my house.
Yeah,
that's how people feel.
It sounds like, oh, you're going after somebody that's getting divorced when they're at a low part. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when anybody came to them that was any different from the nuclear family, that image they presented, they poo-pooed all of that. And now it seems that she had a daughter that got married out of wedlock, had a child out of wedlock, as far as not got married out of wedlock, had a child outside of wedlock.
We're picking up.
Clearly her marriage was on the rocks for a long time. And anybody that would have played this and made all the money, she's wearing $100,000 outfits because she played this family narrative. And now she's like, hey, in this moment of despair, can my family have some privacy? No. No, you can't.
I think the $100,000 is a little extensive.
50.
$100,000 outfit. I was like, what is she wearing?
Expensive outfits, like Armani.
$100,000.
She was up to like $80,000 in terms of her outfits when she was running for VP. It was like against a lot of clauses. It was weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't find this shocking at all. You want to know why? Because when you're someone who is about to go through a divorce, you see divorce coming for a lot of other people. This played to me like a fiddle. Like from the moment that she was actually a candidate, there were problems. What it seemed like to me was that they got married and had all these children. She was doing her thing. He was the first dude. She became a nominee, and now they're getting all of these deals, and the good times are rolling, and then the good times stop rolling, and the checks stop coming in. Then there's little to no incentive to even play the game anymore, and hence divorce. So I doubt that she needs a lot of time, because she's known her marriage was over for quite some time.
Wow. It's weird for a politician to, not believe in what they preach. It's very ironic. The whole thing is ironic.
What do you
from beginning to
mean?
back.
Question mark.
All right, guys. Speaking of marriage, a shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate has a lot of people asking questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men. The study from Cornell University says women aren't getting married because prospective husbands can't provide enough financial security. This is sexist, right? What's up? What if this was a man saying this about women?
Well, no, I think that the truth is the reason why people aren't getting married in heterosexual relationships is because men are less financially attractive because women are more financially attractive. And we still have...
You spun it right. It doesn't sound... It still doesn't sound right.
No, women are more financially attractive than men are for these millennials out here, or whatever they're called. Yeah, so that's problematic because there's also tradition, and the tradition still dictates that the man proposes. No woman trying to buy her own ring. Makes perfect sense.
I hear you. It makes sense, but doesn't that sound... What if I said, hey, I'm going to set you up. She better have money because otherwise she's not attractive to me. You're not sensing that at all?
I do. I just think for millennials, it's genderless because it's a realistic thing. If I'm a millennial and I look at you and I want to date you, hold on.
Sexism is genderless when it comes to women, but it's definitely genderless when it has a gender when it comes to a man.
No, I think finance here in this time and age in a recession, both men and women are like, hey, I got to know about your debt situation because it's crippling me and I can't take on your debt.
Are you guys running for office? What's going on?
No, I'm being really honest.
I'm hearing what you're saying. What I'm taking from it is, especially when you think about our grandmother's generation and their mothers, women couldn't work. They could be a teacher, a nurse, a secretary. That was pretty much it. So the idea of you being a woman that worked was crazy. So the only way that you could eat and have a roof was a dude. And now that you can make your own money and live your own life. The idea of like, do I want to attach myself to some guy wearing sweatpants sitting on the couch? I think I'm good. I'm going to go hang out with my girls.
Because also,
and
women,
I think some women are making that choice where they don't have to. In order to just get out of their parents' house, you had to get married. It's still like that in some cultures.
I think, based on the findings of Instagram, that they're still messing with the guys on the couch with sweatpants on.
Right.
They're just not calling them her husband.
That's right. I mean, maybe you just don't sign that contract. You know, my buddy.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't getting actually married is the other point. The cause and correlation here is how many people are actually saying that maybe marriage isn't the best idea. Let's be partners.
Do you guys agree that your wife is just your girlfriend you tell the government about?
No.
What's the difference?
What do you mean, what's the difference?
You just went down to City Hall and signed some papers.
You are so jaded.
Come at me, bro.
If I believe this is my second time around the bend, I said I would only get remarried if I learned something. And I did. And no, I don't believe that's right. I don't believe that my husband is just my boyfriend who I told the government about. My husband is my life partner. He makes me better. I make him better. We become exponentially more than we were apart. That's the reason why they say two chords, because two chords are stronger. So no, I don't believe
But if the concept of marriage
said debate,
She won that one. Yeah, she won.
You can't just clap and
She won that. The chord thing, it was good. It was really good. I'm serious.
So if the concept of marriage was dissolved, would you still go home to Jordin tonight? Would you go on to Anthony tonight?
Yes, I would go
what are
home
we
to
talking about?
Anthony.
We're talking about paperwork. Okay.
Hey, look at Bert.
I'm not going to look at him. I'm in trouble. I'm looking this way.
Go.
Can we see Bert wrap it up? He said it for the last 3 minutes, Al. The last 3 minutes. Plus, Al, how could we finish this day without some breaking news from the White House? We need to get over there. Kelly Schubert has the details at the moment.
I sure do, Jeff. The president just fired National Security Advisor John Bolton. Now, Bolton was the president's third national security advisor since he took office, but they apparently had disagreements over how to handle major foreign policy challenges. Now, President Trump just tweeted saying, "I informed John Bolton last night that his services are no longer needed at the White House." Meanwhile, John Bolton is tweeting saying he offered to resign. Jeff?
All right, thank you, Kelly. Whew. All right, a new Monopoly game is being called categorically unfair right now, as Miss Monopoly game is billed as the first game where women make more money than men. Let's see you try to get out of this one, Tori.
Okay.
This version, women collect $240 every time they pass go, while men only get $200. The new rules are upsetting a lot of people. One person tweets, "As a woman, I find Miss Monopoly sexist. Equality doesn't mean women make more than men." Tori, stick up for this game.
Nope.
Oh, there you go.
I hate this game. I think it's a stupid game. I don't want to make more than you. I just want to make the same as you. I don't want disparity amongst anything. I just want equality. If you're trying to tell me that I need 40 extra bucks to beat you, which I will on Bolton Avenue, then you're telling me it's insulting because I can't do it on my own.
What if somebody was to say that this is reparations to make things equal?
On a Monopoly board game?
Yes.
How about pay actual women instead of a silly, insulting game? Let it be equal. Let it be equal. Don't make us then resent us if we win because you made the extra 40. I think it's stupid.
I think it's dramatic irony. Because what we're saying is, so in this game, women are getting $40 more than men for the same thing.
Right.
It's embarrassing. That's what you just said, because you want to be equal.
Totally.
Yet men will sit there, be your complete equal, knowing that you make less and not advocate for it. It's embarrassing.
I get that, but I also don't think I get that.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
I know.
I'm saying it's embarrassing. That was your point.
Yeah.
That's an embarrassment that men would sit there and not advocate for you, knowing that you're doing the same amount of work for the same job. It is embarrassing. Everybody should be embarrassed.
Wow.
Are we agreeing that this game's stupid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I think it's highlighting the obvious.
All right, cool. I got Erica talking. I was like, I think I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't even say anything, and I'm wrong. I don't know what happened.
I love it.
All right, a TV news anchor is taking a stand for her right to wear what she wants. Maggie Vespa from our sister station in Portland, Oregon, was trolled online by a viewer who objected to her high-waisted pants. He told her, quote, "Dress like a normal woman," and now she's striking back. Let's watch.
Dress how you want, look how you want. And if anyone tries to make you feel less than because of that, that's their problem, not yours. In other words, there is no one way for a normal woman to look or be. 10 years ago, if I had heard from a Jeffrey, I would have needed someone to remind me of that. Now I'm very comfortable letting it roll off my back while I wear my high-waisted pants.
No relation, by the way.
If it's not high-waisted pants, it's always going to be something. I think that really people, especially when you're in the spotlight, when you're on television, there's going to be things that people don't like about you, whatever. However, people also have to understand that, like, we didn't get here by playing it safe.
Amen.
So a lot of times you end up doing things that other people, families, friends, will look at you like you are completely crazy. But then when it pays off, they look at you like, can you give me a shout out?
Yep.
So all I want to say about this is, if you are a person who has the need to say something about what other people are saying and doing, then perhaps you should take a few more risks in your life, because that's not a risk.
I love it.
Ooh, I like it. See, I agree with that one. DBL is live, and coming up, a viral video of 2 toddlers hugging. You have to see it. It's super cute. Plus, new bombshell surrounding Harvey Weinstein and his downfall. We'll tell you how he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow. Then, compassion is at the forefront of today's Heart Threads. We'll show you what happened when a boy needed new shoes but didn't have enough money to pay for them. And you, the viewer, are the 5th host. CBD oil over chemo. The punishment a mom and dad received for how they chose to treat their son with cancer is causing controversy. Your comments next.
Best feed.
Vote to count. I did not know about this with you, and I just wanted to give a shout out. Vote to Count's dealing with some health issues.
No, dude, I don't care.
And I really, really want to give a big shout out. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, he says, I've had open heart surgery, heart failure, 1 heart attack, lasered arteries and kidney failure, and I'm on dialysis 3 times a week. The most things we know about our audience is they're either caregiving for someone or they're trying to take care of themselves.
I'll pick it up.
Huge
You know what I mean?
shout out to you,
So it
Vote to
doesn't
Count.
matter.
I give you all the light and love, and you have a DBL family right here, and we're with you every step of the way. If you need to cope, if you need to complain, feel free to do so. Sometimes when I have a hard neck, Jeff will make fun of me, but it's hard because sometimes if I'm sitting on the end, I have to look all the way over here, and it'll hurt my neck, and he'll make fun of me. But I'm just kidding. You are absolutely welcome to be open and honest, and we hope that you are doing well. We send you light and love, and we're all praying for you. Big discussion coming up with the chemo and the CBD, and I'm taking kind of a hard stance that's seemingly going against what a lot of the other hosts are saying. So I'd love your comments to come in. Michael just said, on the chemo thing, my takeaway is communication failed between parents and doctors. So yeah, it definitely did. So tune in, write in, let us know what you guys think. It's not an easy one to go through, and it's a very emotional one, but one that I feel really strongly about. So make sure you guys also write in so we can get to your comments in the breaks. Peace.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for 5th Host, and we talk about what you're talking about. A Florida couple choosing alternative medicine over chemotherapy lost custody of their 4-year-old with leukemia. Joshua McAdams and Taylor Blandball were forced to give up custody of their son Noah after they ended his chemotherapy because of adverse reaction. Instead, they turned to alternative medicine, including CBD oil, fresh food, and alkaline water. Although they are now agreeing to chemotherapy, the judge is not backing down. So DBL Nation, should these parents have custody of their son? Let's get right through your comments.
Well, Karen from Facebook says, these weren't hippies who just disagreed with modern medicine. They were just seeking out alternative options for their son. Karen, I appreciate your perspective. I occasionally work with an organization called CASA, that's Court Appointed Special Advocates, and really the objective is reunification with the parents, and really the last thing you want to do is remove a child from the home. So if this wasn't a situation where the parents were acting negligently, but they were just not in accord with the court, I do have a problem with the courts taking the child away from the parents, especially for the child's mental health as well.
Well said. Heather from Facebook says, there's no scientific evidence that homeopathic treatments work. Their child deserves more. Oh, Heather, I'd have to research that. I don't know. I think there are a couple homemade remedies that seem to have worked pretty well. I remember watching a movie called Lorenzo's Oil where somebody figured that out. But like, I am very much pro-science and pro-medicine, but I do believe that changing your diet and changing certain things can affect your mental and your physical state. So I'm on the fence. The only thing I'm not on the fence is I don't think these parents are trying to do anything damaging to their child, but I heard there was 95% they think the chemo will work. I think you got to go with those numbers when you see them.
Yeah, there's a little background too. They left in the middle of a chemo session. They left their phones, evaded law enforcement, ripped out their son's PICC line because they wanted to get away. They crossed state lines and the judge felt they wouldn't come back. Now it has a 95% success rate within weeks of remission on chemo. And they said they weren't going to do it, and that's endangering the child, in my opinion. Janelle from Facebook says, my granddaughter has battled cancer twice. Chemotherapy is hell, and no one should judge what parents decide to do. Until you've been there, keep an open mind. Janelle, thank you for writing it. Empathy is so important. And I agree with Al. I like alternative medicines. But the state of Florida has a right to protect that minor. That minor doesn't have a voice in this. And if that minor wants to live and save his life, he doesn't have anyone advocating for him. So the state says this: if you're 18 and over and you want to do CBD, cool. But if you're a minor, you don't have anyone speaking for you, we're going to step in. The judge felt very much that they were in imminent danger of not getting chemo. So it only went to the grandmother, and the parents can get the child back working with chemotherapy appointed proctors and things. So I think they did the exact right thing in this case.
And they said they were going to, so you think they will eventually get the child back? Because I think that's the worst case scenario, is them leaving the parent.
Worst case is he dies, the child dies.
You're right.
And that's what you do if you don't have chemo.
Right.
So I hate this.
But while he's going through treatment, he should be with his parents.
Not if they're not going to give him treatment. At some point, you got to take a stand, like vaccinations. Sorry if you don't like it, but we're protecting the state here, and they don't have advocates for them.
I hear you. And
it's hard. It's hard. This one.
Like Janelle just said, you know, unless you go through it, you really do not know. And knock on wood, Janelle, you know, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I would do anything for my child. Anything. If someone's like, you know, eat banana peels with peanut shells, I would be like, I'm going to try it.
If there was a 95% chance of success within weeks of remission.
Right. I mean, I'm all for medicine, yeah, but I just to counter the other side, I would do whatever I could. I would do whatever I could.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
All right, guys, coming up on DBL, caught on camera, a driver fast asleep inside a self-driving Tesla, but that's not even the scariest part. And watch what happens when a perfect stranger overhears a boy's dilemma when he wanted new shoes but couldn't afford them. Heartthreads is next.
Hey guys, I know I took a hard stance on that. A lot of you writing and disagreeing with me, which is fine. Andrew D. Fernay says it's horrible that they took the kid. But if the child had died, it would be even more horrible, in my opinion. So I talked to my dad, who's an attorney, and it's called something in Latin that I didn't want to bore you with, but it's called like parental parentiae. It's definitely not right. And it's when the state feels that if a minor is being endangered, and they felt that removing that PICC line, driving across state lines, evading law enforcement, not getting back to the doctors, was doing so, they're gonna have to stick up for the minor in this case. So he's with the grandmother now, and again, they can regain custody if they continue chemotherapy treatments and work with the proctors. It's not a wonderful thing, but the worst thing is if the kid didn't live. So I took a hard stance, and I know I got a lot of flack on this one, and I'm okay. I just want to hear what you guys think of. Had the kid died, would we be having the same conversation? The state stepped in my opinion, and helped save a little boy, but I want to hear from you guys.
You know who else is getting a lot of flack today?
What?
Joe Flacco for losing. Oh, he's a Denver quarterback.
Is he?
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
F-L-A-C-C-O.
C-K-O, I
that
believe. No, I'm not sure. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's C-C-O. Sorry, I was trying to
Can I
lighten
be
up the
honest with you?
situation a little bit.
We did pick'ems. Do you guys know pick'ems are where
Oh,
you
yeah.
pick them and you get $5, and I filled out this whole long thing. I didn't know anything. And then today I get another pick'ems thing, and I'm like, I did it already.
You don't have to.
No,
It's every
I thought
week.
it was for the season that I had filled
Oh my
it out.
God. It's every week.
I didn't know I had to do it every week. So Ira, who's a camera guy, decided to do it by animals over humans, the mascots.
Hey, whatever
And if
works.
the animals fly, and there's 2 animals, he'll pick the ones that can fly.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a stranger who stepped in to help a family in need. Watch how a simple gift of shoes made a huge difference. This man's random act of kindness for a kid went viral. 11-year-old Zach and his mom were shopping for some new shoes.
I had the same shoes for about 9 months, and the bottom of them were destroyed.
Zach's mom told him that they could only spend $20. Lito Mason overheard their conversation.
I asked him, what type of shoes do you like? And he said, I just want something that's comfortable. I was done. At that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna get him whatever he wants.
Lito bought Zach a pair of shoes, and Zach's grateful mom asked to take a picture. She posted about Lito's kindness on social media, and it went viral.
As Lito went to pay for everything, we walked outside, and Zachary was like, Mom, I can't believe he helped us. He just helped us. It's like an angel, Mom.
Despite the outpouring of praise, Lito has remained humble.
Just something that I wanted to do. For one time in his life, I didn't want him to worry about a price. And it was simple as that.
Kindness. It's as simple as that. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Leah Rydell with some information about the Apple news.
Yeah, lots of stuff from the live event today.
Talk to
So,
me.
Tell me.
I think there's a new.
Do you have an iPhone? Of course. iPhone 11 on the way.
Looks, I'm hearing mixed reviews.
Yeah, you know, I gotta dive a little bit more into the features of the Apple 11, but to be honest, just the look and the hardware looks a little funky. I mean, like, you know, you've got an iPhone and it's got this camera on the back. Well, there are multiple lenses on there, so it seems like there'll be some cool new features, but again, I gotta dive a little bit deeper into the iPhone 11 stuff, but yeah, like you're saying, mixed reviews so
Mixed
far.
reviews on the look. I also heard, and tell me if I'm right, Apple TV will be $4.99 starting November 1st.
Apple TV is going to be $4.99, and they have Apple Arcade, which is, when I tell people about Apple Arcade, think Netflix but with games.
Dude, that's
so
that's
you're
going to
be able to use any device, any Apple device to play these games.
Can you
so
use your Apple
TV,
remote?
You can use your Apple iPhone. You can use your iPad to play these games, and they will be exclusive to Apple.
Smart.
But the list just seems a little bit
the games weren't that
weak.
great.
Yeah,
Okay. You're right, it's
like
the hands
stuff
of the game.
like
Come on in, Jeff.
Rayman,
Jeff's a graphic designer.
Frogger.
For Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
If you buy an iOS device, hello.
Say that again, my love.
You get an iPhone, an iPad, a Mac, or what was the other thing?
If you do
If you
iPad,
buy
iPhone,
one of those
Mac, or
devices, you'll
Apple
get
TV,
Apple
you'll
TV
get
Plus for a year for free.
Oh, okay.
Subscription for free.
Okay.
But
Now-
I mean, $4.99, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad to really go.
That's not too bad.
Was it as good? And remember, Steve Jobs made a full performance out of this.
Nah, man.
Okay.
Like, honestly,
Was it Tim Cook just being kind of like, blah?
and you know, you watch these new Apple Lives, and they're just not as lively
Oh,
as
man,
when
he
Steve
was
Jobs
so
was in
good.
it. He was just so animated and
was
so
so
live
good.
about it. But there's also a couple other things as well. There's a new Apple iWatch, which
That's
is
cool.
going to be starting at $199. Then there's also an iPad that is a 10.2 inch. And there's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot to unpack. But the biggest things out of this were the arcade and the home.
Yeah.
The new Apple TV home. I mean, it's going to be great. The TV Plus, excuse me. is going to be awesome. Sorry, guys. I just came off of editing something, so it's like,
but it's also
going
very
from
exciting.
one thing
so it's
to
called
another is like,
Apple TV Plus. It's
yes,
called
Apple
okay.
TV Plus, and
okay.
it's $5. I don't know about these originals. We'll have to wait and see what they're going to roll out.
They need better games.
But, yeah, they need better games, and I would love to see some cool originals from Apple. Like,
I love that.
Hopefully, they can compete with like Netflix, Hulu.
That's what they're
and they
trying.
can be
That's what
really
they're trying.
like up to that kind of caliber.
So, Team Deal Nation, can they be at that caliber? Can they get to Netflix?
Yeah,
level?
can they be on that caliber? Let us know.
Yes.
They say if you get the job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
And we love that at DBL. We get to tell it like it is, even if things get a little heated.
And since we're always live, you'll always see us 100% real.
But it's not just about what we think. We want your opinions on what's happening in our world.
Because we wouldn't want to do this without you.
So come on in and join the conversation. And we guarantee on DBL, we're never going to hold back.
Because we talk about what you're talking about.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al. I'm Sam. Let's get right to it.
There you go, next Monday.
I'm so excited.
Next Monday.
New beginnings,
some new
guys.
faces. Lindsey Granger's going to be joining us, so that's good. That's fun.
Exciting.
Yeah, very exciting stuff coming up.
Some new debate. She's going to be she's conservative and she's strong and she's going to make me up my game for sure. Up my game.
I haven't.
No. We're 5 years old.
If I could only say what I wanted to. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Explosive new claims in a book all about Harvey Weinstein's downfall. How he reportedly used Gwyneth Paltrow for his dirty deeds. Then, asleep at the wheel. It's the video going viral of a driver snoozing in a Tesla. But that's not even the worst part. And from sea to shining sea, we've got the list of happiest and unhappiest states. Some might surprise you when DBL comes back.
What's up, Beauty Blast? I'm Jordin for the Slay, and today we're talking a little beauty tea gossip. Now, a lot has been going on in the beauty world lately, but one new collaboration is setting a new record for everybody, all right? Drybar and IT Cosmetics has collabed together for a brand new product launch coming August 1st. Now, can you guess what it is? Now, let's think about this. They're both cosmetic companies. Drybar does hair, IT Cosmetics does skin and makeup. What could they do in common? Oh yeah, lashes. Lashes have hair, right? And we use them in makeup as well, so it kind of makes sense. Guess what? It is a mascara that they're making for us, guys. This mascara looks like it's out of this world, and it actually combines two great features from both companies. Now, IT Cosmetics came into play and actually gave those great killer ingredients that it's so well known for. Biotin, collagen, and hyaluronic acid too, all to help hydrate and lift those beautiful lashes and keep them looking pretty. Drybar came in and said, let's make it look just like what everyone wants. Let's give them what they want, let's say that. Volume, guys. They actually took the idea from their volume-based hair products and they actually created this little mascara brush that looks just like their round brush. Crazy, right? Now, it even went as far as to having little yellow balls on the tips of the brush to actually separate and define the lashes, which I was like, okay, y'all might be trying it a little bit too much. Now, with this mascara, it actually is going to be having an amazing finish and it's supposed to give you that beautiful lift and curl. So we're gonna try it out and see just how it does very soon here. Now, it launches on August 1st, so hopefully we get it once it gets into a retail store right away. So, for more beauty gossip, make sure you check out more Beauty Blast and check out my social media platforms at Jordin for the Slay. We'll see you guys next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live. always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live. Let's get started, guys. We're learning new details about what brought down Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. The book called She Said is out today. The New York Times reports who broke the story wrote it. In it, we learned Gwyneth Paltrow played a big role in the investigation. She was one of the first people to speak up, or speak out, I should say. Gwyneth became aware that Weinstein would use her name to get other women to do what he wanted. He would say things like, "Don't you want what she has?" More than 80 women have accused Weinstein of inappropriate sexual behavior. He has denied any non-consensual acts and has pled not guilty to sexual assault charges. His trial starts in January.
Yeah, I've always taken a hard stance on Gwyneth in sort of a joking manner. I never thought her goop was great for the everyday person, although she tries to come across as the everyday person. But you got to give credit where credit's due. If you think your name's being used for assault, she silently said, "I don't want it." Now, I have a problem because she also worked in a lot of Weinstein films after this happened. So, I can't take money away from someone else. I can only say she did what she thought and spoke out against it. And I have to say, good on her for that, because that's not easy to do when she's a brand new star.
Yeah, and also, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
I know a lot of
it's not
people can
easy to
sit
do.
back and just go,
Right.
yeah, how could you do that? It's like, at the time, there was no precedent. It was just like, this was going to go on in perpetuity. Just like, hey, there's a guy who's got all the control. Sometimes he gropes you. Sometimes he says something gross to you. Sometimes he does it to your friends. And that's just how we do to get these checks. Now that things are changed, everybody's like, I can't believe it. Everybody believed it up until they didn't.
Right. And that's the key phrase for everything in today's climate. At the time.
Right.
I know everybody's so incredibly woke. We're just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We're so woke. But we have not been woke for that long.
Right.
Some of y'all became woke yesterday, okay? The alarm clock just went off.
Right.
So the fact that we pretend like we have just been so about it and so progressive for all this time, that is not true.
Yeah.
Some of y'all just woke up.
Yeah.
I just woke up not that long ago.
Everybody.
I still have sleep in my eyes.
All right. Switching gears to celebrate a cancer survivor, Alex Trebek just started the new season of Jeopardy. Good for him. Let's get up to Raquel Villanueva. She has news at the moment.
That's right, Jeff. Alex Trebek is back in action after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He kicked off the new season last night.
Jeopardy begins its 36th season on the air, and I'm happy to report I'm still here. Our champion, Jason, thank you.
Well, over the summer, he completed chemotherapy and celebrated his 79th birthday.
Wow, thank you, Raquel. What an amazing guy. He took a half a second to talk about himself and how he's feeling. You know, he didn't take away from the show, didn't take away from the contestants, which I'm sure it's their dream to be there. That's the kind of guy that guy is. That's why everyone's pulling for Alex Trebek.
It's a total class act, and he's always been that way. He says he keeps his voice very monotone so as to keep the attention off of him. He wants it all to be contestants. He's a selfless guy. He just said, "I'm still here." It was a lovely, lovely sentence.
Do you guys think that this goes along with the story we did a couple days ago with you stay at work?
Yeah, having a purpose. Yeah,
you know,
I
he
do.
never took time, even though they said he
Yeah.
was sick to death in his green room, but he still went out and shot, and I wonder if
Yeah.
that has something to do with it.
I believe in that.
And 79 years old, and pronouncing
good.
those big words.
It's hard for Big Jeff.
It is hard for Big Jeff. He has the opposite approach of Tori Shulman. All right, here we go again. Another driver asleep at the wheel of a self-driving Tesla. This was on a Massachusetts highway, and the passenger is asleep too. The person who took this video tried honking the horn to wake them up, but it didn't work. Now, we've been doing this story. We've been talking about this story all day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think this is a hoax now.
No, Tesla has commented they think it's, quote, a prank or a hoax, because if your hands are off the wheel for any amount of time, it blinks something at you visually, and then it beeps something at you.
And it vibrates.
And it vibrates.
The wheel, yes.
However, people can sometimes sleep through that, but they said it only works on these long sort of highways where you can keep going and going. Do you think it's a hoax? Do you guys?
I don't know exactly what I was just in a Tesla. My brother got one when I was home this past weekend, and he was showing me like all the ins and outs. I'm like, how does that self-driving thing work? So quickly he told me. But on like
side streets, you know, it doesn't work as well because you don't have the solid lines, so the car doesn't really detect it, so it's tough to make like big turns. But if you're on a highway or a freeway, it has the lines where it senses it, and it'll slow down or speed up depending on the cars around you. So it has a better sense of where it is on the highway, so you might be able to fall asleep. But again, if you have to, I don't know about holding the wheel and things like that.
Scares me, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it should scare everyone, okay? You're talking about a car.
Yeah.
All right?
It's so scary.
We had the story, well, when we first started, about the guy who was decapitated because he was in a self-driving Tesla watching Harry Potter. A sunspot didn't show that there was a semi that started crossing, and the car went underneath the semi. He was decapitated. Like, I'm not entrusting my life to a car. I barely entrust it with my husband driving.
Yeah, it's
seriously. Canadians drive differently.
Driving and sleep. I don't know why everybody's so tired. Just wake up.
Right.
When you get there, handle your business, go home, sleep.
I do think in 50 years, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you're more, I guess, technical, this will be perfected, and they will be better drivers than humans. Like, they will get rid of human error, and traffic jams will help go away, and it will be a better, but it's not there yet. Right. I just don't feel confident.
It doesn't. The Tesla doesn't stop for stop signs or stop lights.
Yeah, that's a big problem for me.
Yeah, of course. So I mean, you technically can't do this on side streets, because if you're the first car at that stoplight, it's going to go into oncoming traffic. You know, so that's why you're seeing it on the highway.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be the same kind of trajectory as you saw with cell phones. I remember the first cell phone. My boys used to call it the payphone. It was gigantic, and now
Morris.
Yeah, and now we run our lives to our phone. So, and that took what, 15 years?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, guys. Global giant Amazon, speaking of the future, starting September 17th, Amazon is holding job fairs in Arlington, Virginia, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Seattle. They are looking for 30,000 full-time employees and anyone from software engineers who can earn more than 6 figures to those who pack and ship for $15 an hour. So that's pretty good, but I know you're about to say like how they treat their employees,
no,
right?
maybe. Well, I was going to say something.
First of all, that means yes, and then you took it away from her.
No, I do think it's great. I never want to say getting jobs is bad, because it is, and you need jobs. I get it. And $15 is a good paycheck. I get that. It's just that there are some of them going on strike because they do feel the quotas for Amazon to get one-day shipping is getting so intense that they can replace you if you slip, if you faint, they whisk you away. There's not a lot of great conditions. So there is a condition issue I want to just point out, but I also think getting a job is fantastic, and the economy needs it. So.
How often is that happening, that people are fainting?
Well, enough for people going on strike.
I saw something on John Oliver, like he did one of his main pieces.
It's like an assembly line. You just go and go.
They track you like for everything, and you're under a quota in terms of shipping stuff. So like if you have to go to the bathroom, and the bathrooms, think about how big these facilities are. The bathrooms
skip it.
10 aisles away. You can't go to the bathroom and make it back and make your quota by the hour, and like you're being tracked.
And in summer,
your steps and everything.
Very hot. Yeah, it's not good.
It's rough. So we gotta. I mean, but this isn't just a U.S. problem. We have to figure out how to treat people like people in factories.
Right.
It's been going on since the 1800s. We just don't care about people. We need better regulations in factories for everybody.
So we should shame Amazon for these job fairs.
Shame on Amazon. I have 2 packages at the house right now.
I do think it's great, but I think we'd be remiss of us not to educate. There is some issues going on.
There is a different side. Yeah.
I do feel that, but I think what it really comes down to is that Americans as workers aren't treated well, period.
Yeah.
So when you start talking about manual physical labor, it becomes even more egregious, because as a whole, employees aren't treated very well by employers.
Yeah.
And there's a concept of replaceability as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't like this, you can go. And so it makes people stay in adverse situations that they normally wouldn't.
Well, to support them, I do not have Amazon Prime. I want them to relax when I get my packages.
Calm down.
5 to 7 days free.
3 to 5 business day jet. There we go.
All right, guys, we have to give a big DVL shout out to this 77-year-old British woman. She broke the record as the oldest person to sail around the world from North America all by herself. She arrived at a Canadian yacht club over the weekend after she took off in October of last year.
That is incredible.
I don't know how people do that.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's That's impressive.
At that age, and then something went wrong?
She's by herself.
I mean, not even any age.
No, I did a sailing segment for DBL, and they were trying to show me how to. I did, and I did very well on a bay.
We remember
or a
that.
reservoir, a puddle, or something, yeah. But they tried to get me to till. That's not the right word. Then you have to go under. Then you have to get the thing to switch.
The jib?
The jib. There you go. But there's a lot of strength that comes into sailing around the world for a 77-year-old woman. Good on her.
Yeah.
Especially
Cool.
like storms and everything out there. I'm impressed.
And it's wet. There's water. We're just pointing out everything obvious.
It's amazing.
But just the solitude and everything, there's a lot.
Some people like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a good getaway.
That's a great
Do you need
one.
that?
Yes,
I'm turning my phone off. I'm sailing around the world, so
right.
don't contact me.
We sailed right through that story. Coming up on DBL, breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. We've got great tips in our dollars and cents. Hey, that's me. And the all-new list of the country's happiest and unhappiest states. Some of them might surprise you. Cool.
Oh, Jeffrey, I missed you. All right. Someone just wrote in. Self-driving humans are not trustworthy. Have you seen the accident statistics? Why are there 98 ambulance chasers able to afford constant advertising? Eventually, self-driving cars will be trustworthy, but not now. So yeah, I do think our conversation will look really dated in like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, well, I do see them coming. I just think that
it's not ready
we need
yet.
to be proactive about figuring out what the losing the automotive industry will mean. I mean, no more truck drivers. I would say
There goes Detroit in terms of the auto industry.
what percentage of towns in this country depend on travelers? People, truck drivers coming through, the gas stations, fast food places, hotels. You know, people just passing through their town, and it's like, yeah, we're right on I-70. And
I don't know, man. It seems like with all those jobs going away, that takes. I don't know.
You're gonna also lose.
Like the regulation would be so. Wait till you see the regulation for self-driving cars. I mean, do you have to not take a? I don't know. It just seems too crazy.
I mean, but just like less accidents.
But people thought that about the internet.
I know.
Remember Katie Couric's like, what's the internet? It's this in '94, and now
But
that
like,
video.
I'm more worried about people's losing that job. It's going to change the shit
It'll shift the economy.
United States.
Absolutely. And the auto industry is the basis of the economy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so I don't.
Yeah.
For that reason alone,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
see the progression going the way that people think it's going.
Yeah. A lot of people think AI and stuff is going to take over.
Look at all the retail stores closing. Malls are. I think they said 40%
Dude,
of
Forever
American malls are going
21
to be
is out.
closed.
It's crazy.
Who goes to the mall? People don't leave their home for anything.
Now Amazon Prime vans are getting in trouble because they're hitting people and running, hit and run, because they don't have the insurance from it and they need to get there fast. So they're saying they feel rushed.
Wow, it's like dominoes.
Welcome back to DBL. Want to live a happier life? Ever considered packing up and moving? Well, Wallet Hub just released the happiest states in the U.S. It's ranked by emotional and physical health, along with work and natural environments. Here comes the music. So let's kick it off with the 5th happiest state. Any guesses? New Jersey.
Whoa.
That's the 5th happiest state?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's water. You're close to major cities. They have a lot of good sports teams, or just sports teams in general. It's our most densely populated state, but you can kind of like live in the city, and you can kind of live like Tony Soprano out in the suburbs. It's got a little bit of everything.
New Jersey tourist board.
And Hoboken.
All right, taking the spot at number 4 is California. All right, I understand that one. Snagging the 3rd ranking in is Minnesota, very clean and happy.
And good sports teams.
And healthy. They do have a good sports,
yeah.
And a lot of outdoors, too. And rounding out 2nd is the state of Utah. Any Utah fans?
Utah's beautiful. It's like it seems like it's safe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like removed from. It's kind of its own state. I can see people that just like loving Utah.
Kind of its own state.
It's very unique in terms of other states. You know, like they have different laws. Different laws of drink. Go try and get a beer
at Utah.
You'll see. Don't you need a private license or something, or a private club or something like that?
What?
Yeah. So you need a.
It's like a dry state, isn't it? Or it's
you need a to go to. You need to be a member of a.
You can go into a restaurant and get a drink. You just can't order another one until they've taken the first one away. I like to double up on my drinks.
In Utah? Is that Utah?
But don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't they control the amount of the percentage of liquor? Like you can only get like 3.2 or 3.6.
But you could have like 3 wives?
Yes.
But you can't have 3 beers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not until you take one
Clearly,
wife away.
we knew more about Jersey than we did about Utah.
If you're from Utah, write us in. Let us know if Al.
Karl Malone.
Oh, boy.
Well, there you go. Go Jazz.
Name someone from it.
And congratulations to the Aloha State. Hawaii is ranked #1. I probably could have guessed that, right?
Oh, my God. I got Maui'd and then went to Maui because I thought that'd be funny. And it was just, you're instantly happier in the island.
What did you say?
Like, I got Maui'd and went to Maui for my honeymoon.
Oh, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the joke the first time.
I think a lot of people
horrible.
did.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
I'm surprised about Hawaii being #1 because everyone talks about it from tourism.
Right.
You don't hear a lot of people talking. Maybe they just don't want you to move there.
I don't think they want you, right. The natives are very prideful of that.
Yeah,
area.
I was up for a job in Maui, and they were really concerned about island fever.
Whoa, interesting. About feeling like stuck a bit?
That I would get it, yeah. I probably would have.
Yeah.
They went with the island guy.
Trapped in this beautiful environment.
Surrounded by paradise.
All right, let's check out the least happiest states. Ranked 46th in the U.S. is Louisiana. Taking spot 47 is Mississippi.
601, baby.
Alaska is ranked 48th there. That's surprising to me. Arkansas 49, and finally the least happiest state according to Wallet Hub, West Virginia.
Here's why I think it's West Virginia.
Oh, wow. Pile it on.
The sound effects. West Virginia, just so people know, isn't great in terms of education. I think it's 49th or 50th. So I don't feel like they think their schools are great, which is an indicator of a happy community. And secondly, they were inundated with the opioids. By far, the state that all the big pharma really used was West Virginia, about an enormous amount. So yeah, and they just thought these are rural people that aren't going to know, and they just pounded that state. They are almost, it's an entirely huge epidemic in West Virginia.
You think that was calculated?
Oh, I know it. Oh, it absolutely. It's evil what they did.
Wow.
And they're getting paid for it, and they're getting convicted, as they should.
Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up on DBL, what you can do right now to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Don't miss our financial tips next in Dollars and Cents.
God, you guys are so hot, I'm nervous. Okay, hi guys, I've been staring at you for 5 minutes. All right, here we go. I'm sorry to waste your time. Emma, Olivia, welcome to Daily Blast Live. First things first, let's talk dogs. Now, Olivia, you have 2 dogs, Sir Chance-a-Lot and Frankie, but Sir Chance-a-Lot has 35,000 followers. So do you have a game plan for a chance to overtake Selena Gomez's 152 million followers?
We were talking about this yesterday. Right, he's an influencer for sure. But he's also bringing attention to shelter dogs. Like, yes, that's with the Shelter Pet Project, because both Chance and Frankie are rescues. Also Stella's a rescue as well.
Yes, Stella.
And so we did this great campaign for the Humane Society and Maddie's Fund to get people to rescue from the shelter more. They went from the shelter in the streets to just billboards around the country and in Times Square. It's just the cutest thing.
Well, now onto the show, The Road.
Can I tell you a secret?
Hello? Someone is going to attack me and wipe my memory. If you're watching this, it's already too late.
I've noticed a trend, ladies, in Hollywood about action spy thrillers. All the main characters are turning out to be women lately. I think women make way better spies. We're more intuitive. Tell me what you guys think about women making better spies than the fellas.
Right before we shot The Rook, I had done another show where I played a CIA operative. And I had learned from all of my conversations with ex-CIA people that the women were, most likely the better snipers within the CIA, and they're just a better shot. And also they were just better because they could be more inconspicuous. They were more intuitive. They could understand both men and women so much better than just just their own sex.
I don't think this women having lead characters in these spy dramas is a trend. I think it's here to stay.
Emma, you are known for playing these gritty, little rough around the edges characters. Is your The Rook character the same, and do people have totally misconceived ideas about you?
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio. Now, we've heard the term living paycheck to paycheck. If you feel financially stuck, there's a way to break that cycle, and we're sharing tips on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. Now, Felicia, finances are tough, even harder when you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. What are some tips to help everyone break that cycle?
You know, this paycheck to paycheck cycle strikes a lot of Americans, like almost 70% to be exact. So what we're going to do, we're just going to break down 3 easy things so that you can kind of start getting out of this cycle. So the first thing you want to do is track your expenses. So you want to make sure you document your spending from the last 4 to 6 weeks, because we need to know exactly where your money is going and actually what is coming in at the same time.
So when you say track your expenses, do you mean your spouse's expenses?
Everybody's expenses, yes.
Good tip.
Everybody's expenses. And then also we're going to focus on fixed expenses. Now, the rule of thumb is that your fixed expenses should be 30% or less than your monthly income. So we want to make sure we're looking at everything, because we want to make sure we're not really living a lifestyle that we can't afford.
Outside our means.
Yes, so
right.
you want to make sure we take care of that. Now, the next thing you want to do is put your savings on autopilot. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, we always forget about savings.
Right.
And you know what? That's when emergencies pop up. So you want to pay yourself first. No matter what you do, pay yourself first. Auto draft features. I love auto draft with the bank. Auto draft your money into general savings, vacation savings if you want to go on vacation, emergency funds, 401ks. Just put that auto draft to work and pay yourself first, so that we can at least have some money.
Right, because then you forget about it.
Yes,
that's what I have. It takes away from my checking account into my savings account each month.
And then we can go back and look at those expenses. And then the final thing we need to do is understand wants versus needs. Now, this is a hard one. Because sometimes we want things that we don't really need. So when we do wants versus needs, this is a quick way to prioritize your expenses. And I like to just write down on a sheet of paper or ask myself, do I really want this or do I need this?
Right.
So we want to make sure we just do this exercise on a regular basis. And then also give your money a why. Most of the time we just spend money just because it's, you know, just fun to spend it. But if you give it a why, like, you know, for your kids, for, you know, if you want to leave a legacy, leave money behind, donate it, just give your money a why, and it'll really help you focus and get out of this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle.
I love that. And I love the want versus need, because sometimes I just want something to want it, and I wait 2 weeks to see if I really want it. Turns out I didn't want it as bad as I
sometimes
I
we just buy things because we want it right then and there. So yeah, give yourself time.
I like it. I like it. But treat yourself.
Yes, treat yourself.
All right, thank you so much, Felicia. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Issues about the images we release to the world.
Absolutely. The correct image can sway opinion.
Chris Maloney, welcome to Daily Blast Live. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's talk about your role in season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my love. This is Polly, who obviously has forgotten how to knock. Blessed evening, Polly.
I want to know this, and a lot of our people have asked this to ask you. How do you prepare to shoot such intense scenes? And more importantly, how does the cast, including you, decompress from all of that?
Whatever role you take on, you know, at least for me, I see what the layout is, the world you're living in, and then you just get down to personals. You make the world smaller. You make him as human as possible, and with whatever interesting quirks come to you. That's kind of the creative sauce, I guess.
Here's to your bright future. Perhaps here in D.C. Posting in D.C. would be an honor, sir.
Tell us your favorite part of working on Handmaid's Tale. What was your absolute favorite part that you'll take away with you?
I just love how they shoot the show.
Nice.
I love it. I find it one of the more cinematic shows on television. So I just was really kind of curious about, you know, whatever, their theories or, you know, something is what's the lens and why the lens and what kind of special filters they put, you know, just the kind of geeky stuff that I'm still just learning myself, but I found really very interesting.
You're a nerd.
That's what
It's the best. It's just like me. That's exactly right. It's amazing.
I'm a nerd, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I watch every season. A lot of our DBL Nation watches, so we cannot wait to see you in this season in Handmaid's Tale, and we really, really appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Nice. Okay. Yes! Looking good in slow-mo, you can't look bad. Huh?
That's
Yeah.
kind of true.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's like Reservoir, the opening.
Well, I heard like a lot of movies where where the people can't do sports well. That's why they do a lot of slow-mo in sports. Like white men can't jump. Like if you can't dribble very well, like you just slow it down and it looks like you're great.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Yeah.
Like Tory dancing?
That was
Yes.
terrible.
Oh man, you got a horn.
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant. All right, you got to see this viral video. Watch as two toddlers run for each other on a sidewalk. Look at this. This is Maxwell and Finnegan.
That's me and Jeff on Monday.
My friend, you are just and it's been 2 days since they had last seen each other, and they had definitely made the most of their reunion.
Oh, they're so
I will never watch this video again without thinking of a little Al and a little Jeff.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Play that again. Let's think of it as Al and Jeff. Can we see it again?
And props to the guy.
Hey, man, Big Jeff.
Jeff, what do you got in your hand? A beef? You got a beef there?
Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
And props to that guy with the man bag back there, because I feel his pain.
That's a real
I got
dad.
that. I know what that's like.
He looks
Look at those two
good.
kids.
Oh, man.
We should have Jeff and Al that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys.